Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Tyus Powell, Jason Lloyd. Plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show starts now. Booyah!
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, along with Jason Lloyd and Tyus Powell. I'm Adam the Bull. We got a lot to get to today, fellas. Mike, Earl, Anthony, and Steve all behind the glass. We got game number one, Cavs-Celtics tonight. Cavs are a massive underdog. In fact, teams that, I can't remember the exact number, but the Cavs are, what are they, plus
10.5.
No, but I mean in the series. Oh. They're like plus 1,000.
They're minus 16, or they're plus 1,600, sorry.
So teams, I don't remember the exact dividing line, but teams that are as big an underdog as the Cavs in the series are 0-18 in series in recent years. So they're going against the odds. We'll talk about it. We're going to draft the top 10 players in the series. Later, speaking of drafts, we'll talk fantasy football. And are there any Browns in the top 50 of a draft? Plus the Guardians, Kyle Manzardo makes his debut. It doesn't go well, but the Guardians win again. We'll get to all of that coming up in a little bit. Guys, what's going on?
I got to tell you two a story.
Yeah, tell me a story.
About yesterday. So yesterday, I was on the radio Sunday in Columbus, and I was talking about how if I had to go up against a former Ohio State wide receiver by the name of DeVere Posey in one-on-ones, I'd shut him down. So after I did,
well, how old is he compared to you?
I think he's like 2 or 3 years older than me.
So if you had to go against him now, or
today, today.
Okay.
We lined it up today.
Was he there?
No, he wasn't there. I was filling in for him.
Gotcha.
Because it was I think it was his wife's birthday. So
all
I was filling in.
Well, happy birthday to his wife.
Yeah, he does a couple of days.
Every player comes back
a lifetime pass.
Yes.
Anyways, so after telling that on the air, I was like, let me get in shape, just in case he feels some type of way, he really want to line it up, I got to be ready to go.
Yeah.
So Mondays, I always go do legs. So I went to the gym, worked out, couldn't do squats because some woman was on the squat rack, so shout out to her for doing that, but you kind of threw me off. So I got and did some leg press. Did the leg press, got my sets, left. Said, you know what? I got the cleats in the car. I'm going to go to the field just to, just to make sure I still got
clicks,
it.
That's cleats?
Huh?
What is clicks?
Cleats.
Oh, I thought you said the clicks.
I got my cleats in the car.
Okay,
I heard clicks too.
Yeah. Dang. Let me slow down. My cleats are in the car. So I said, let me stop by the field. So I go to the field, and I pull my speed ladder out, my agility ladder. I'm hitting my ladder. I was like, okay, the feet still kind of quick.
You just went out there by yourself. There's nobody else there with you.
Nobody else out there. So
you didn't give Cardell a call?
No.
You didn't give Richard Sherman a call?
No. I sat there and said, let me.
No Von Bell.
Just wanted to make sure I still got it. So this is where I knew it was going downhill. On my last ladder drill, I was doing in, out, out. So in, out, out, right? I get to the last ladder, and I fall on my face. It was bad. The fall where you can't even catch yourself.
That's it, Tyus. That's the end of it.
So I'm on the ground laughing at myself. So I get up, I dust off. I say, all right, that's a little fluke. So I go, let's do some DB drill. Let's do some backpedaling, some opening up the hips.
Yeah.
And my hips is tight. Open them up. I felt
You said that years ago. Somebody said your hips
it
were
in
tight
my groin. I was like, oh my goodness.
That was Dane Brugler.
Dane Brugler.
I was like, this is bad. So now I'm thinking to myself, I got to start stretching my hips some more, right? So that's not even the worst part. The worst part is I do the couple of drills, and I get my watch because I said I'm going to run some half gassers. So let me give you some context. Half gassers is sideline to sideline, down and back.
Yeah, okay.
In college or even in the NFL, skilled players get 16 seconds, big skill get 18, linemen get 20. Do you know how long it took me to run a half gasser yesterday?
24 seconds.
23 seconds. I was like, I got to lose this weight. This is bad.
I feel like right now we should be playing taps.
This is bad.
Because this is officially the end of the time.
This is bad. You know what? I thought about this last night before I went to bed, and I almost cried. Like, you know, when you get to that point where, like, the athleticism really is starting to dwindle away.
Yeah.
I never thought it would happen to me, but it was bad.
Father Time is undefeated.
No, because see,
Before you know it, he'll be
knocking
playing
at
in an
your door.
over 50 football league. I mean,
what's
that's
tough,
right around the
Tyus?
corner.
but I want everybody to know that I am truly dedicated because now I always talk about how I need to lose the weight. I'm truly going to lose the weight now because I feel like right now I'm 245. If I get back to 220, it'll come back. You know, like
the hips will loosen up.
everything will be back. But like it's like I got to get back out there and keep drilling. Like yesterday wasn't the last time I'm gonna hit the field. I'm gonna go do it
It'll be the
again.
last time you do that ladder drill for a while.
No, I'm gonna do the last. I got to. I gotta get it back, man. I
Well,
should have recorded it
There's
so y'all
still
can see.
confetti falling
I
down,
saw
by
that.
the way.
So
It's
yeah,
funny,
the
Tyus,
comeback,
it's funny.
comeback
Very sad.
season, comeback season.
Very sad.
Hey, we're proud of you. We're rooting for it. Rooting for the comeback. But it is funny that Tyus, who's now 30 years old, hit the wall. And we've had many discussions on the show about certain position groups. And I'm looking at someone to my right, 2 seats down, about 30's not actually old when it comes to sports.
Yeah.
I'm looking at living proof about 22 feet to my – that's not 22 feet. That's like 15 feet to my left.
Well, listen,
That
well,
maybe 30 is.
no,
the age of
that's
decline,
not.
Tyus.
I wouldn't say that because the problem is one, I haven't done a football drill, in 3 years.
So
3 or
what
4
made
years.
you, like, just this conversation made you do this?
Yeah, I wanted to see if I still had it. You know.
So are you now? Do you think you couldn't take Devere?
No, that's not what I never said that. I never said that. Now that's with 1 rep. Oh, he's done. He's grass. That's it.
Could we make this happen?
If he want to make it happen, I'm always like the cleats stay in the car. So
Yeah, there you go.
I'm still looking for what's my dude from Ignatius that was talking crazy to me on the internet a few years ago. Jake Mooney. I don't know. I won't do. I don't know where you at. I don't know what shape you in, but I can still take you 1-on-1 for sure. So line it up.
All right. Well, good luck with that, Tyus.
I got
Were people watching you when you
So
did this?
so I was in a big soccer field that way.
Where? Like, where were you?
This was it. No, this new. I was by Olentangy High School, right by where I live, and it's a big pickleball court, like crawl.
And that's an
adjacent.
old person sport, so appropriate.
So I don't know if I could see them, but I think they were so engaged in pickleball that they wasn't looking over there at me.
Yeah.
So I don't think nobody seen me fall.
Yeah.
But if they did, so
By the way,
what?
what happened? Wasn't there like the commencement? The guy was.
Oh
Like
yeah, somebody
somebody
died at the commencement, and then the guy
was
said
terrible. He was stoned,
Talking
right?
about Bitcoin.
he said he took a psychedelic drug to write his speech.
When he wrote it. I think he was on it when he gave it too. He's talking about Bitcoin and go invest in Bitcoin. He's getting booed. He's getting booed like he punted on 4th and 3.
What is happening?
I don't know.
Ohio State losing stature as we speak.
I don't know what's
That's
going on.
embarrassing.
I really don't.
Go ahead, Mike. What do you got?
All right,
for
guys,
us?
let's get into our first topic after a quick read from FanDuel. It is winner take all time in the NBA and NHL, and FanDuel is giving you a shot to bring home some big wins of your own. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 to bet on spreads, money lines, player props, and so much more. So visit FanDuel.com/UCSS and make every playoff shot count. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. And today's winning ticket comes from Austin Parker. He put this bet in 11 months ago. He bet 10 cents on Victor Wembanyama to win Rookie of the Year. He won 22 cents.
What?
He bet 10 cents on Victor Wembanyama to win Rookie of the Year.
Waited 11 months to win 12 cents.
I mean, what is? No offense, but that guy's kind of a doofus.
He can't even.
Why
That
would
won't
you
even
bet
get you no time on the meter.
Take the dime and the penny, go to a wishing well,
Yeah.
throw it in there,
Yeah.
and wish to win the lottery.
Yeah.
Is better use
Well,
of that
and-
11 cents.
And jump in with it, maybe. I don't know.
12 cents.
What are you doing? Why are you betting 10 cents to
Let me
win
see
a
it
nickel?
Bet
again.
shame?
Let me see the
Stop,
ticket
don't bet
again.
shame.
Please show that ticket one more
That
time.
is the stupidest thing I ever
What?
saw.
The caption cracked me up too.
Interest rates during the pandemic would get you
Taxes
better
on
than
this bad boy.
12
about
cents
to
and
be
11 months.
paid.
Oh, my God. Well, at least he had fun with it. He kind of made fun of himself, so I like that. That is crazy.
So shout out to Austin. If you have a winning ticket, make sure you guys
All right,
send it in
Austin.
to us.
Maybe next time bet 15 cents,
12
Spender.
cents.
Well, at least you won a bet.
He did win.
Does that
All
even
right,
count
guys.
as
Game
winning?
1 tonight. Cavs Celtics tip-off is set for 7 o'clock. We know
Yeah.
Kristaps Porzingis is not going to play for the Celtics. Jarrett Allen still listed as questionable for the Cleveland Cavaliers as he continues to battle bruised or pierced ribs, whatever word you
Can't
want
just
to
be
use
bruised
to
ribs.
characterize
It's got to
it.
be more than
I
that.
thought it contusion.
Jarrett Allen's not missing 3 games with bruised ribs.
No, I think they could have phrased it a little bit better.
Yeah.
I think that they're
It's got to be a fracture, no? Or something.
he's the way it was described to me
Yeah.
was he's in excruciating pain. It's affecting his range of motion.
Yeah.
Kind of important in the game of basketball.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be, he wants to play.
I mean, he played. I didn't realize this till somebody told me this. He played in 77 straight games. He missed the first 5.
Right.
With I think it was an ankle. I don't remember now. I think it was an ankle. Played in 77 games and then all 4 of the first playoffs. So
and was playing great in the playoffs.
Played 81 consecutive games.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of the guy's soft and can't play.
Oh,
through
that's
injury.
ridiculous. Of course.
But that's all over the internet because they described it as bruised
Yeah,
ribs.
I mean, whatever it actually is,
it's bad.
if you're calling it, listen, I get it, the criticism he got last year, deservedly so. I respect his honesty, but I understand the criticism. But he was playing great.
Yeah.
He was the Cavs' best player, arguably, through 4
Most
games.
consistent.
And to say he's not playing because he's soft is stupid. He obviously wants to play.
Yes.
It must be terrible. The pain must be just unbearable if he's not playing.
Yeah.
I think.
I thought he was going to try and give it a go in Game 7, and the
Yeah.
fact that he couldn't, I don't know. I mean, this is my opinion, nothing else.
Yeah,
my
yeah.
opinion. I don't know why he would bring him back for Game 1 if he couldn't go 48 hours ago.
Right. Doesn't make any sense.
I think, Game 7, it's do or die. At least
Right.
now you've got a little bit of a runway.
Yeah,
It's a much better team you're playing.
Right.
But at least give him the last couple of days, the next couple of days.
Yeah.
In my mind, maybe I'm wrong and he's out there, but to me, a best case scenario would be hopefully.
To
he's out there
Jason's
for Game
point,
2.
too, I had
Yeah.
heard similar things about him struggling to breathe, and I was told, well, if he could barely breathe, how much stamina could he have to actually play in a high-intensity
Yeah,
basketball game if he can't even sit down and breathe without pain? So the question I want to start today with, we know Porzingis is out, Allen's questionable, whatever happens, happens. Assuming he can't go for the sake of this discussion, which big is the bigger loss of their respective team? Jarrett Allen for the Cavs or Kristaps Porzingis for the Boston Celtics?
Porzingis.
You think?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's a better player.
I'm about to say, but
They still have Evan Mobley.
they don't do that.
Well, I'm serious.
No,
They
but
still have Evan Mobley.
my argument for Allen is only that the Celtics are so much better that the Cavs having all hands on deck to me is more important than the Celtics. Even though Porzingis is clearly a better player than Allen all around.
Porzingis and Allen together being off the floor allows both teams to really open things
Right,
up,
right,
especially the Cavs, to really open things up on the offensive end. I mean, I think Porzingis is a bigger loss than Jarrett Allen.
I think I'm leaning more towards the Allen because he was like the piece that was always consistent, I should say.
Yeah.
You knew you was going to get at least 18 and 15 boards or something like that. And I just feel like when you don't have that piece, Mobley is getting boards, but he's not really scoring like that when he's by himself. And you need, going up against the Celtics, you need that scoring. You need that piece in the paint. Don't get me wrong, Mobley's doing his thing. He's getting 4 or 5 blocks a game. But for this series right here, if Porzingis was out and Allen was in, Allen could check Horford. Mobley would be free to check whoever else. But now, if you're going to go Horford with Mobley, that piece
Which
is
they
missing.
probably won't do.
They shouldn't. They better not.
Horford is old and doesn't have.
I get
this
that.
ain't Horford of
But
10 years ago.
I
8
get
years
that.
ago.
But it's still a size difference.
Yeah, I actually think. I think Mobley is important for them defensively because of the tandem. Somebody's calling me.
Jason, I mean, that is ADD right there. That is the textbook
Forgot, he
definition.
literally stopped the
He
whole
stopped in the
conversation.
middle of his conversation to look at his phone, say he's getting a call.
I told you I made it. Like
Who's calling you? Who's calling you?
I didn't recognize the number.
I mean, come on, people.
I truly
Yeah.
have a diagnosis
that's
of
what I'm
ADD.
saying.
I'm
So
all over
where
the
were you
place.
going with
I
this?
have no idea. what I was
I'll
saying.
pick up. I think I know what Jason was saying. You were
Go
talking
ahead.
about
They're going to do
matchups.
lineup-wise?
You're talking matchup-wise if
Yeah.
Allen can't play and Mobley. I was telling the guys before the show, I think it actually helps the Cavs to start Morris, or at least a second big, so the Celtics don't pull Mobley away from the paint and essentially stick him in the corner and give Boston open driving lanes with their bigger wings.
I'd start Okoro. You'd start Morris. I'd start Okoro.
I would start Morris, yeah.
Well, what are you doing? Putting Okoro on Horford?
No, Jalen and Tatum. Brown and Tatum.
So who's checking?
So you have
Horford?
Mobley on Horford then.
I would.
My fear with that is if you do that, Jason, they're going to put Horford in the corner.
That's exactly what they're
And
going
that's
to
just
do.
gonna
Mike was saying put Mobley on Tatum.
Yeah.
That's the matchup I want, yeah.
Yeah. I'm saying use Okoro on one and Mobley on the other.
So who ain't in the start lineup then? Struce?
Morris.
Well, if you do
Okay.
that,
You got to
you-
fill Jarrett Allen. So Okoro replaces Jarrett Allen.
yeah, so if you do that, though, Jason,
So who's checking Horford?
you put Strus on him?
Yeah.
Isn't he giving up like 6 inches?
Yeah.
He gonna post him up.
Hey, you got to pick your battles. with
Yeah,
this. And
I mean, yeah, Jason's right. You have to pick something. You're giving away
Well,
something
that relates
here
to the
either way.
bigger picture of this series, guys. And I may not be the expert you are in the NBA, Jason, but I look at this.
I'm no expert.
You know basketball really well. And so does Mike. But here's the thing. Like, I look at this matchup and I'm like, the Celtics have home court advantage. Now, they did lose 1 game to Miami, but total regular season playoffs, they've lost 5 games at home all season.
Yeah.
They've been the better team all year. They've been the best team in the NBA all year.
I picked them to win the championship.
You could say they don't have a great coach, but we could say the Cavs don't have a great coach either. So it's not like when they're going up against Miami and you clearly know Miami's got the better coach. By the way, they lost in 5 games. I know Miami's not very good, but this year.
Yeah.
The Celtics are or fresher because they've been resting for a few days. The Cavs just played Sunday.
Yeah.
The Celtics are a better shooting team. I don't like. Where's the edge for the Cavs in this series that gives them the chance?
Dean Wade.
Dean Wade hasn't played. What are you talking
I
about?
know, and they need because the last time he played the Celtics, he looked like freaking Steph Curry.
Was that his big game? Was against the Celtics? Oh, that's right. He had that big comeback. But where is it? Is there anywhere in this matchup where the Cavs have an advantage? Anywhere?
A straight advantage? No.
Nothing.
I don't think so.
So what's the argument? Because I got people telling me on Twitter, "Oh, this is a much better matchup for the Cavs than the Magic were." And I'm like, "Really? Celtics are a million times better."
Where they getting that information?
So I'm like,
from?
"What is the edge? What's the Hail Mary that the Cavs can win this series?"
I don't know that the Cavs have an advantage in any one area. Mike,
Okay.
do you think that they do? I don't know that
Maybe
they do. I don't think that they do.
maybe bench maybe.
No.
No,
bench players?
if Allen plays, they have an advantage in the 5 position.
But I'm not counting him because who knows what you're going to get out of him.
So what do the Cavs?
But you're right.
Do the Cavs do anything better than the Celtics? Are they a better defensive team?
During the regular season, they had a better defensive rating, if you want to look at that.
Well, how do you look at it? Don't tell me about stats. Tell me about what
All right,
the reality is.
here's what I'm curious because Mike and I haven't talked about this series at all. If I'm the Cavs, switch everything on pick and rolls, go make Jalen and Tatum go ISO, make them beat you one-on-one, and don't. I was talking to one of the Cavs players after the Magic game who said like Boston kills you when you start overhelping and you get into a swing situation and Derek White's open in the corner for a 3.
Okay.
So don't overhelp, man to man, and I remember Tyus saying all the time when you switch everything on pick and rolls, it grinds everything down and it makes you play a lot of ISO ball. So if I'm the Cavs, switch everything on pick and roll, just switch. And make Tatum and Brown like to play ISO. They like to go one-on-one.
Isn't that going to lead to some very favorable matchups for them?
It might, but again, you got to pick your poison.
Okay.
I want Tatum and Brown's going to have the ball in their hands 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Make them beat you one-on-one, and they very well might.
Yeah.
But I think that's the best path to go.
Okay.
To give yourself a chance.
So your JB, or I'll ask both of you this. Your JB, what's your starting? Give me. I know you kind of said it, but give me your whole starting lineup. I'll start with you, Tyus. Give me your starting lineup, and who are you putting on who, like from a defensive perspective?
DG, Donovan.
Mobley.
Mobley.
Yeah. So then between Strus, Okoro, and Morris, I guess.
You gotta have. I feel like you gotta have Okoro. If you're gonna switch on everything, Okoro has to.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not saying they're going to. That's just
okay, but that's
just
your
it.
philosophy.
But he's also their best defensive
player.
player.
All right, so Okoro, who's your 5th starter, Strus or Morris?
It's tough. It's a tough matchup all across
Strus.
the board.
Okay.
He's been the guy all year.
Strus.
You
So,
don't change
okay,
that
do
now.
you agree with that starting lineup?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd the same that they've had all year,
Okay.
and I'd switch Okoro in for Allen.
Okay.
Because I want my best defender in this series with the wings that they have. I want my best defender. on the
So
field.
when the Cavs first pick up half court before the switches happen, who do you got on who? What do you got?
Isaac's numbers were better on Jalen than they were Tatum.
Okay.
Defensively during the regular season.
So Mobley on Tatum.
Mobley on Tatum.
Okoro on
Brown. But again, if you're switching everything, they're going to get switched off them on the first pick and roll.
And you got Donovan on White.
Yeah.
And then
DG on Drew.
Strus on
Horford.
On Horford. And
if the Celtics try to take advantage of that, even though Horford's old, and you're like, okay, I'll live with that.
You got to give him something.
I'll live with that.
If I can live with if Horford has a big game like that, I don't think that's going to happen every game.
If Horford is killing you from the corner, congratulations to them. They're the better. You know what I mean? Like at some point.
Does Horford, how old is he? He got to be like close to 40, though.
Yeah.
Al Horford is 37 years old.
Okay.
During the regular season this year, Al Horford, and they did a good job controlling his minutes. He played 27 minutes per game. He shot 42% from three and 51% from the floor, averaged 9 points and 6 rebounds per game.
All right, is he, if he's being guarded by Strus, does he still have the ability to take the ball to the basket at a consistent level, you think? Or is
not as a driver, but, I mean, he's still crafty.
But like a post-up situation?
He can just shoot right over Strus.
He's going to shoot over him. Yeah.
Right, I mean, so I guess my question is, if they put Strus on Horford, are they posting up Horford, or are they putting him in the corner to shoot
So the
threes?
Celtics actually ran more post-ups this season than any other team in basketball.
Okay, so then
now
probably
they
are
post
posting him
up
up.
everybody. They post up Porzingis. If DG's guarding Drew Holiday, they're going to post up Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday is really skilled in the post.
Yeah.
Tatum posts up. Jaylen Brown posts up. The only one in their starting five, or really their top six if you include Porzingis for the sake of this, who doesn't post up is Derek White. So they're going to find the size mismatch and try to take advantage of that.
And White shot the hell out of the ball against Miami.
White's playing out of his mind right now,
He averaged, well, they had all three of them averaged over 20 a game, didn't they? Tatum, Brown, and White?
First round, all three. Brown, 22.8. White, 22.4. Tatum, 21.8.
Yeah, I mean, talk about balance.
Boston is really, 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 really good. But I just came over from down the street at your old place. We had Dan Shaughnessy on this morning, and Dan said basically the way to beat Boston is they're not tested. Like they blow everybody out.
Yeah.
But they will unravel under pressure. Like they can sort of panic under pressure.
We saw it here. We saw it literally in Cleveland when Dean Wade went crazy.
Yeah. So if you can keep it close on them late, you got a chance. But the problem is teams can't stay with them. They're so talented and so good.
Yeah.
They're building big leads before they've.
Hey, to Jason's point, real quick. You asked what's the advantage the Cavs have.
Yeah.
I actually, as you were saying that, Jason, they may have one legit advantage, and that is push come to shove, game on the line. Donovan Mitchell's a better closer than anyone on the Boston Celtics.
I would agree with that.
Jason Tatum, his clutch numbers this season have been horrific. His clutch numbers throughout his career in the last 3-4 minutes of a close game are not good. And if it comes down to you need a bucket last second, who do you trust the most? Which a lot of these games in the playoffs do come down to. I'm not saying this series will, but in general, I trust Donovan Mitchell even on one leg a lot more than I trust anyone in Boston.
What is his injury anyway? What's Donovan's official injury?
It's a knee. Somebody's knee. I don't know.
I wrote what it was. I don't remember now, but I wrote it.
Is it knee sprain?
Of course.
I can go find it.
If you had to bet first two games, Cavs win or Celtics win by 15 or more.
The line's 10.5, by the way.
For game one or for both?
Well, both individually, though.
Game one, I could see us losing by 15. I mean, we just got
you have to bet your house. Your two options are
game,
Celtics by 15
game
or
one,
more.
I could see us losing
Cavs
by
win the
15
game.
or more.
So you taking the Celtics 15 or more in game one, Cavs to win in game two? You think?
Stealing one in TD guard, man, that'd be
I think game one's the best bet to steal one.
Heck of a
Personally.
momentum.
You think so?
It's rest versus rust.
Yeah.
The longer the series go, Jason, I'm not sure how you feel about this.
But the Celtics didn't rest for that long, did they?
No, but I know. But the Cavs right now are in rhythm, and as Donovan continues to play, game on, 1 day off, game on, 1 day off.
Man, I wish
I'm
he
worried
was
about the
healthy.
stamina of his knee and his ability to continue performing at the level he's at.
So you think the Cavs have a better chance of getting blown out in game two?
To get blown out, in
Yes,
game 2.
I
But
agree with
I
that.
think game
Okay.
1 is your best shot to steal one on the road.
I-
And that's usually in general. I think game 1 is a feel-out situation. You're not going to get the adjustments teams make after scouting you and playing you and understanding tendencies. I always think the underdog has the best chance to pull off an upset in game 1.
Percentage chance the Cavs win this series.
15.
8.
I was going to say 10.
20, 25.
All
Yeah.
right.
I here's what the Cavs have going for them. Number one, they've unburdened a lot of crap by beating Orlando. Like they unsettled a lot of garbage. Donovan did too, by the way.
Yeah.
Of can't get out of the first round. Hadn't been playing well. Didn't play
Right.
well the last 2 years in the
Yep.
postseason. Was terrible through the first 4 or 5 games until he went absolutely berserk in 6 and 7.
Soft. They didn't look soft in that
So
series.
he unsettled all of that crap. The Cavs unburdened themselves of the Knicks series last year.
Right.
And the Cavs can't win a playoff series without LeBron. I don't
31-year streak ended.
Yeah, but I think that was more important to the owner than it was to the players. I don't think the players really cared about that.
But they haven't unburdened themselves on the road because they haven't won a road playoff
no,
game
they haven't.
in 2 years.
But the point is, they should be able to play freer now.
Well, to your point, Jason, in the first round, all the pressure was on the Cavs. The
For
Magic
sure.
had no pressure.
Absolutely.
Now,
All
the
the
Cavs
pressure's
have
on
no
Boston.
pressure, and the
It's all on
Celtics have
Boston.
all the pressure.
Boston has all the pressure from now until the end of the NBA.
I'm
Finals.
sure there's not a single NBA person, NBA writer, analyst, there's nobody going to pick the Cavs to win this
Richard Jefferson did on Twitter. I don't know if
he doesn't count, does
I don't
he?
know. I don't know if he's beat. I mean,
Why doesn't he
he's,
count?
He's a
Yeah, hold on. Wait a minute. Why don't
Why
he
doesn't he
count?
count?
Isn't he
calls
biased?
games for NBA.
So what?
for
Why does
ESPN.
he? Why does he
He's
not
not
count?
biased toward Cleveland. You think?
Yeah. No?
He played.
He played for the Cavs.
He's played all over the place. He
Yeah,
played in
all right,
San
fair.
Antonio,
All right.
Dallas.
Well, there you go.
He
Because I
counts more
thought
than-
you was gonna say because he's a former player.
I was going to
don't-
say.
No.
I don't know if he was joking, if he was trolling, or if he was
yeah.
serious. If he was serious, here.
Okay, so there is one.
The Cavs have the talent to win the series. I totally believe that they are talented enough to win the series, but everybody's got to be playing at their best, and we haven't seen that.
No.
In so long that it's hard to imagine that within 48 hours they're going to figure it all out.
Well,
like
it
that.
ultimately, to me, the biggest X factor is number 10. If number 10 actually plays with some confidence and can finish at the rim, because like I said, he does a good job of getting to the hole. For some odd reason, he either not gonna make the layup or he gonna look the pass when he's so far inside the paint that it's gonna.
Well, he shot it well. He actually shot it
For
well.
some odd reason, he
Yeah.
don't want to do it like that. I don't understand it.
You're right. He probably think he had the best 3-point percentage on the
Yeah.
team.
Yeah,
in
he
the first
does.
round.
I mean,
Yeah.
Well, he did.
Sam.
But Sam, 10 shots.
But Darius shot it well from 3. But just some of the decision making, the dribbling,
He got to just
the
stop.
horrible 8-second call, the just getting caught in the air with nowhere to go.
Yeah.
It's that kind of crap that will just destroy them.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
need-
If he does that
Look
in
at
the
those
series.
percentages.
He
I mean, it's a
need-
miracle they won that series.
And along the
Bad
point, go ahead and finish your point. I'm going to
Yeah.
go back to the
What
three-point
he
line.
need is what that same mentality that Donovan has. He's skilled enough to do it. Be a dog. You gotta be a dog at this point. The only way y'all gonna beat the Celtics is if you be a dog. You just gotta be that. You gotta be that aggressive person that ain't backing down to nobody that can go finish. Go do it. You are a certified bucket getter. You got to go do it in crunch time. That's the only way. You can't let this man down. He's not going to win it by himself. Against Orlando, he could do it because it was him versus Paolo. Against the Celtics, they need all hands on deck. Everybody needs to step up. Karalis, you had a good game. You better continue to be that 6th man of the year candidate that you were. If you be that, we got a shot. If we don't, if y'all do the same thing y'all did with games 1 through 6, it's over. It's over.
Jason,
To that,
final thought here.
to that point, Darius has heard that message from everybody, including Donovan. And go back to the corner 3, midway through the 4th. Darius misses a corner 3. Isaac gets the rebound, kicks it out to Donovan. Donovan's driving for the layup, and he kicks it back to Darius in the corner again. This is Game 7 I'm talking about. Kicks it back to the corner again. Darius had missed like 10 of his 11 shots.
Right.
And Darius makes the 3, and then that's
Yeah.
where the two of them embrace going into
That was
the timeout.
huge.
And I asked Donovan in the locker room, was that the best basketball play, or were you intentionally trying to give Darius a second look? And he basically said he wanted Darius to have that second look. He knows how important Darius is to this team.
Right.
And that they need the best version of Darius going forward, and they haven't gotten it yet. And Darius, when that went in, it was almost like a sigh of relief to him. So every little thing to help build his confidence. One other point, though, on the 3-point shooting, the numbers that we saw earlier about how bad they were from the 3-point line. it looked early to me in Game 7 like they were making it an intent to get to the basket and not settle for threes. And I asked Donovan if that was true. I said, was it a point of emphasis to not take threes because you guys shot it so poorly in the series? It seemed like everybody was attacking the rim. He said, we didn't talk about that necessarily, but I didn't want to shoot. He said he took 1 3 early, didn't feel good, didn't go in. He said, nope, screw it.
He wasn't shooting well the whole series.
And Donovan was attacking the rim. I think that should transfer over to this. If I'm the Cavs, don't get caught playing the three-point game early in this game. Attack the basket, drive and get to the rim. If you can get some early foul calls, get to the line, and then play inside out almost like 80-style basketball.
Yeah.
Attack, especially with no Porzingis in there.
Yeah.
Try and get to the basket because the three-point shot wasn't falling in the first series, and Boston's a much more difficult place to play than Orlando was. I would just really try and make an effort to get to the rim.
Literally 5 seconds each. How dumb are the people that were calling Donovan Mitchell selfish after Game 6?
It's asinine.
Who called? They called
There
him.
were people on Twitter calling him selfish.
How is he selfish?
Because nobody else took shots, really.
Nobody wanted him.
No, you're right. Mike, go ahead. Bring our guest
We
in.
got to read. We're going to bring in our next guest in to talk a little Cavs Celtics, but a quick reminder that Monopoly Go is the most addictive and the most fun app you can download on your game. Monopoly Go is a place where you can team up with friends for time tournaments where you work together to build up each other's boards. The more you win together, the more awesome prizes you unlock. And there's so much to get, including unique stickers you can trade with friends to complete albums for big prizes, cool new playing pieces to travel the boards with, hilarious emojis for taunting friends when you smash their buildings or heist their vaults. Plus, Monopoly Go feels new and exciting every day with constantly changing tournaments and challenges. There's always something fun to discover in Monopoly Go, so get off the bench and go download it now for free on Google Play or the App Store. Game on. The Cavaliers were in Boston practicing at Emerson College last night. I got a text from someone in the organization saying, hey, where's your name in the rafters? And I'm like, well, my name wasn't there, but this guy's name was. That is John Karalis, who scored 1,500 points, grabbed 1,000 rebounds at Emerson, and now covers the Boston Celtics for the Boston Sports Journal and LockedOn Celtics. John, thanks for joining us today. How you doing?
It's my pleasure. I'm doing great. Always nice to see teams swinging through my old stomping grounds.
John, Mike is unbearable with his Emerson propaganda. I mean, it never stops. It never stops. I mean, this is crazy. You're like the Division III Notre Dame with all the propaganda. I don't know what's happening here.
Well, I mean, we're one of the most influential basketball programs in the NBA. You know, we've got 2 GMs, we've got a former GM, we've got a number of scouts, we've got coaches, we've got everything. It's basically Duke, North Carolina, and Emerson. Like that's the hierarchy of NBA of basketball program influence in the NBA.
I would say this: that my college, also Division III school,
gotta cut it out.
has 2 great former head coaches, more impressive than this list. Both the Van Gundy brothers went to my school.
There you go. Hey, look, we've got
Presti.
Sam Presti. We got Sam Presti.
Sam Presti's
We got
the best. He's a
GM,
nerd.
the best
He's
GM
a nerd. Who cares? He's a clubhouse nerd.
It's a man who built 2 powerhouse teams in the middle of nowhere.
By the way, Stan Van Gundy actually didn't go to my school. His dad did.
Oh, so now you're lying.
He gonna lie like that. Jeff Van Gundy did, but he went for 1 year and then he transferred.
Just to keep up with Emerson.
Right?
Come on, what are we doing here?
Emerson, we can't keep up. Emerson is the Notre Dame of Division III, which must mean you get overrated every year and lose big games. But no, I'm kidding. Yeah. John, let's get to it. When I look at this matchup, I don't really see where the Cavs can win. I want them to win. I hope we can pull an upset over your Celtics there, but I don't see anywhere where the Cavs have an advantage. Do you think the Cavs are going to be tough competition for the Celtics? And do you think the Cavs have any chance of winning this series, honestly?
So, I thought maybe coming into the playoffs, like, okay, Cleveland, Orlando, that won't be the toughest. I still expect Boston to make it to the NBA Finals. But I thought, okay, there's some length, there's some toughness there. Then I watched them play Orlando, and I was like, oh boy, I went from Celtics in 6 to Celtics in 3, and then I realized that it has to be no, you have to give them the respect of like they are going to play hard, and so I don't want to sound like arrogant about it, but I do think it's going to be Celtics in 5 because the Celtics do have matchup advantages all over the floor. And, Donovan Mitchell had to work extraordinarily hard to beat Orlando in 7 games, and that Game 7 win was an 18-point comeback. So it's not looking great. I don't see where they can steal much. I disagree with the comment leading into me where they have to get away from the three-point shooting. I think they have to flood Boston with three-pointers. They have to play small. They have to play fast. And they have to shoot like 50 three-pointers. And even if they're not falling, you just got to keep going and hoping the sheer volume gets you to like 20-something three-pointers where maybe you can catch some fire and steal one like Miami did in Game 2. I think that's the only way. I don't think attacking the rim is going to work because you have to find a way to score to keep up with Boston. The Celtics can put up 110 to 120 in this series easy in a game. How does Cleveland do that? By shooting two-pointers? And yeah, maybe you get to the free throw line, but that doesn't really make up the difference. The math is not going to go in your favor. You can shoot 50+% from two. You can get into the paint and win the points in the paint battle. But if you're not matching Boston's math, if you're not matching Boston from 3, where anybody that they put out there can get hot, it's going to be a very, very tough series for Cleveland.
This is what happens, Jason. When Emerson takes over the league, it's no longer about basketball. It's about math. It's about math.
We don't
That's it. Basketball.
There's not even a math class at Emerson.
Go ahead.
Get that.
No,
that crap out
John, to your point.
Seriously, like the funny thing about that is there's like 2 math classes at Emerson College. That's it.
I agree.
And I failed both.
I agree wholeheartedly with what you said. And had the Cavs been shooting it better, I'm not saying avoid the three-point line the entire game. I'm saying if they miss their first 6 shots, like they'll be in an 18-point hole like that. But if you're getting 2s, you're not matching 2s for 3s, but you're at least keeping yourself in the game. And then as the game opens up, if you catch a rhythm, then go to the three-point line. It's the theory that they used in Game 6 and really Game 7 against Orlando. And I know Boston's a much better shooting team than Orlando. My fear is if you're the Cavs and you come out firing 3s right away and they're not going in, you're going to get buried early, and that's a really bad place to come back from.
And I understand that. But this is when you look at trying to find your advantage in this series, trying to find a way to keep it close. And the thing that has worked against Boston is the three-point shooting. You have to play the variance game, and it's maybe somebody gets hot. Maybe it's Merrill who, you're giving up points on the other end when he's on the floor, but he's the guy that's going to put the shots up.
It's going to be interesting to see how much they play him in this series. That's going to be really interesting to see, to me. I talked to JB about it before Game 1 of them, 7 I guess it was, and he basically, Sam gets cut out because they're trying to keep Darius and Donovan together, and they're not going to play all 3 of them. So the minutes, he's allotting more minutes to those guys together in the backcourt. But I was not big on Sam in the Orlando series, but I am on him in this series. I think that they've got to find a way to get Merrill on the floor, sort of to the point that you're making right now.
Yeah, I think you have to find a way to play him, and if that means you split up Garland and Donovan Mitchell, then so be it. Look, Garland to me is my defensive focus for the Celtics. I'm not even worried about Donovan Mitchell. We just saw Donovan score 50 points in a loss. So we've seen recent evidence that you can hold the rest of the Cavs to less than 50 if Donovan Mitchell goes off. What my defensive focus is, I'm putting Jaylen Brown on Mitchell and saying, don't bite on fakes, don't foul, go have fun. And I'm keeping Drew Holiday on Darius Garland. If you put those 2 out there together and I get to put Holiday on Garland and try to break his confidence for the entire series, then that's my defensive focus. And then I've got help all over the floor, and that's going to limit what Donovan Mitchell can do. Now, if you put Merrill out there, that's a guy that you can't help off of necessarily. And again, you're targeting him on the other end. But if you can put players on the floor that you can't help off of if they're threats to shoot from 3 and you have to take another step or 2, well, now Donovan does have room to get to the rim. Now he does have room to do what you're saying, get there, draw some fouls, live at the line, score 13, 14, 15 points at the line, because you have to worry about the kickouts and the three-point threat. So that's where I'm saying the Cavs need to have those threats out there. If you have Garland out there and you can kind of dare him to shoot, if you play Okoro, then thank you. If you play, like, even if you're going Marcus Morris, none of those guys scare the Celtics from three. The Boston will help off of them. Yeah. They'll do a late recovery to get the contest and live with the results. And Donovan doesn't get to the line. He's living in the mid-range. So you got to find a way to put shooters on the floor somehow.
John, when you look at this first game, how much does rest versus rust bother you? Obviously, the Cavs are coming off of two incredible games where Donovan had two good performances, winning Game 7, and Boston's been off for a couple of days. How do you feel about that going into Game 1 tonight?
I feel like it's similar to what they did in Miami. That first game against Miami was just, gangbusters for the Celtics. So I feel like it's going to be a similar thing. I think Game 1 is going to be a tough one for Cleveland. They're going to need to focus on stealing Game 2 if they're going to steal one in Boston. But I think Boston has done a very good job of staying focused. They play all kinds of tricks. Joe Mazzulla plays all kinds of tricks in practice to keep the guys mentally engaged. It's not like they've been sitting around for a week. They're out there. They're practicing hard. They're trying to do it with, real game situations, pumping super loud, crowd noise and music, and trying to replicate something to keep them, focused on how the environment's going to be. And if the Celtics just play fast and move the ball, they'll settle into the game really quickly. So I'm not worried about rust necessarily with those guys heading into this. I think it's actually going to help them play at the speed that I want them to play at, because one of my biggest concerns in this series is that the Celtics go matchup hunting and they see Merrill on the floor. They see somebody that they can attack on the floor, and they go, okay, everybody clear out. We're going to slow the game down. We're going to bleed the shot clock down to 8, and we're going to try this one offensive move. And that takes the Celtics away from the power of their offense, which is Tatum and Brown draw a ton of attention. And when you swing it, you're swinging it to Derek White and Drew Holiday and Al Horford. And if you overreact and recover to them, now Brown and Tatum swing free again, and they get the ball in a more advantageous situation. So playing fast, playing free like that is to Boston's advantage, and being rested allows them to do that.
John, obviously, the consensus is you agree. Certainly the Celtics should win this series most likely. So the Porzingis injury for this series, probably not a big deal. But going forward, I don't know how long he's supposed to be out. I read potentially the rest of the postseason. You give us whatever you know. How much of a difference do you think that will make potentially going forward against, I'll say the Knicks, although it's not a guarantee it'll be the Knicks, and potentially whoever they play, and Minnesota looking good right now in the NBA Finals?
Yeah, look, the further you go, the more you need them. So I don't think it's going to be an issue in this series. I think there's the potential for him to come back in the conference finals. I don't think he's done for the postseason.
Okay.
So I think Porzingis he seemed very confident when we talked to him the other day. Joe Mazzulla, said he was already walking a little bit better on Monday. So taking those steps to get back, and it's, he had a left calf strain earlier this season, cost him 2 weeks. They were being conservative with that. But hopefully it's a 3-week type of thing, and they can get past Cleveland and into a series. Let's say it's against New York. I think Boston can get by New York without Porzingis. You can use Horford against Mitchell Robinson and space the floor. They don't have a ton of other size that you have to worry about necessarily. I think Hartenstein, you can attack him with Jason Tatum, and the rest I think is matches up fairly well for Boston. Plenty of places that you can attack defensively there. Certainly you could put Brunson in a blender and try to make him defend and try to wear him out. So it'll be more difficult, but I think they can get by even that without Porzingis. Now, if you get to the NBA Finals, and if it is Minnesota or if Denver comes back, you need him. You need him, especially with the double big configuration in Minnesota. You need somebody to bring Gobert out. You need somebody to space that floor so you can open up the lane. If not just to get to the rim, it's for driving kicks that the Celtics are very good at. So eventually they're going to need him, and I do think that they're going to get him back.
John, when you look at this Cavs lineup, right now Allen isn't playing, but if he does come back, does that change your opinion a little bit on the success the Cavs can have? Because right now with Mobley out or with Allen out and happen to go with maybe a smaller lineup, it seems like the Celtics have an advantage. But if you get that anchor back in Allen, does that change your opinion a little bit?
I honestly think that Cleveland can do better against Boston going smaller. And I think if you put Allen in there, it clogs up a lot. And you have now two non-shooters on the floor with Evan Mobley. Mobley's unwilling to shoot. He can hit a couple. I know he hit a couple of threes early in that series and then just disappeared. So I think the more non-shooters you have on the floor against Boston, the worse you're going to be. If Allen is playing, then you could put Horford on Allen and Tatum on Mobley, and that still allows you to help, and you live with whatever mid-range 15-footers that they might hit, because again, it's just not going to add up to enough points for Cleveland. I don't see, even with Allen in the game, I don't see the Celtics scoring less than 100, and I don't see the Cavs scoring more than 100. I still think the Celtics still have the advantage on the perimeter, and with their ability to drive and kind of like pull the defense apart, I think that is still an advantage even with Allen. Now, it does mean that you're getting to the rim less, right? And it's going to mean a little bit more mid-range. And the formula, if they can do it defensively, playing some drop coverage, running the Celtics off the three-point line and running them into mid-range shots, you can kind of flip the math on Boston and see if you can get them into a two-point battle. If you can drag Boston into that, then sure, I think that's something that could work. But I just think Boston is aware of that, and they have too much with Holiday and White and Horford. There's just too many places you can go for shooting that can break that up.
John, great stuff, man. We appreciate it. Maybe you and Michael get together at the next Emerson reunion, plan for chemistry class or something. I don't know what's going on, but my niece is actually going to be a freshman at Emerson this fall, so I'm just having some fun.
We're TV people, man. We're TV and actors. That's all we are. There's like 3,000 kids at that school, and we all want to be on camera.
Beautiful. Good job, John.
Thanks John.
Man.
Thanks, John.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
All right, we're going to give our final predictions on the series coming up about 10 minutes or so. But first, it's time for something we love doing on this show, a draft, Mikey McNuggets.
We are going to do a draft as we do for football season. We've done it for the Magic playoff series. We're going to do it for the Cavs. Just a quick reminder.
Yeah.
We have a live post-game show tonight, immediately following the final whistle of Game 1 between the Cavs and the Celtics. We're going to do an Ultimate Cavs show tomorrow on Wednesday, not on normal day like Tuesday, on Wednesday to recap the game and everything that happened. And as always, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We got to 40,000. We appreciate it, but we want to get to 140,000 in the next couple of years. So do us a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and we'll pan it out.
By the way, I love G. Bush is as good as it gets at headlines for his podcast, isn't he?
He's very good at it.
Yesterday's podcast for G. Bush, Colin Cowherd's controversial AFC North prediction.
Did you listen to it?
I didn't get a chance yet, but I saw the headline, and I'm like, that is...
I think he just picked them to finish third.
Why is that controversial?
I don't know.
Even if he picked them for fourth, it wouldn't be... like I said, and I think most people agree, you could pick this division in any order, and nothing is crazy. But G is so good with those headlines, man. People are going to... He will get tons of people to watch because of that headline.
Yeah, it's 10,000 views already. So
there you go.
He's doing his thing. Check it out. That was the Ultimate Brown show yesterday.
Yeah.
It is time to do our player draft for the Celtics-Cavs playoff series.
Gotta bring my list
This
up.
is right now in the moment.
Okay.
The 10 guys in order you want most on your side for this series. This does not include what they've done in the past. Injuries and their current health status do matter. And those are the parameters.
Well, you factor in whatever you want to factor in, right?
Exactly. These are the 10 guys you want for the series right now.
Now, in the first series, there was no debate about the one spot. It was all Donovan Mitchell. This series, I think there's debate. I don't know. I've got Jason Tatum number 1. Do you guys have him, or do you have Donovan Mitchell number 1?
Tatum.
I got Donovan.
You got Donovan. Mike, who was your number 1?
It's funny because if this is a regular season question, I'd take Tatum. In the playoffs, I actually lean towards Donovan, even on one leg.
Smart man.
Yeah, I think that's a little prisoner of the moment, no?
Well, it's right now, and he's playing the
Right
best
now,
basketball
yeah.
he's ever played in his career right now, heading into this playoff series. I have my hesitation he'll be able to do that for 7 games.
Yeah.
But I also have the equal hesitation that Jason Tatum's a certified killer in the closing minutes of a game if push comes to shove.
Mikey, you own it, because I'm right there with you.
I mean,
Thank you.
has Donovan definitely proven he's a certified killer?
Yes.
Do you get that based on, and he was great in those last 2 games
I'll tell you what.
against Orlando.
If it's a 1-point game, 1 possession to
I'm
go,
going to Donovan.
I'll take Donovan. For
Right.
the series, I don't know that they're going to get to that point.
Right.
I'll take Jason Tatum.
Okay.
So it's 2-2. Earl and Ant, who are you taking?
That's
I'm taking Mitchell. Jason Tatum's a choke artist.
I'm taking Spider, baby, all day long. Y'all should have known
Who
this.
could have seen that coming?
I think it's very
Anthony
close. I think
funny,
there's
man.
a
Yeah.
totally valid argument, and if Tatum, I think it's personal preference.
I think you guys are all being a little biased.
No, I really do
I
believe
think
Donovan's
Donovan
better.
Mitchell, if he was completely healthy, but he's not completely healthy. And they're not playing the Magic anymore.
It doesn't matter. You're talking to the clouds, man. We got
Yeah, all
overruled.
right. That's fine. All right, so we'll go
Mitchell 1,
Donovan
Tatum
1,
2.
and obviously Tatum,
Tatum
2.
yes.
All right, number 3, there's probably no debate for number 3. It's got to be Jaylen Brown, right?
That's who I got.
That's mine.
Any debate for
I
anybody
agree.
else at 3?
No, it's Jaylen Brown. It's funny, the other debate, and I'm curious where you guys have Derek White, but Derek
Next.
White's playing so well right now that
I put Derek White 4.
I'll put him 4 too.
I had him 5.
Who do you got 4? Mobley?
Don't do it.
Drew Holiday.
Or Drew Holiday?
I think I got him next. I got him 5th.
Who do you got 4,
I had
Mike?
White at 4, so
Okay, so White goes 4.
yep.
I got
So
Drew.
that's top 4 is Mitchell 1, then a run of 3 Celtics, Tatum, Brown, and White.
And Drew next.
All right, what do you got? Who do you got 5, Mike?
I had Drew Holiday.
5?
Drew
I
Holiday.
had him flipped. I had Holiday 4 and White 5.
All right, well, you guys win. I actually had Evan Mobley 5. Even though he's been terrible offensively, he has been a huge difference maker on the defensive
Yes.
end.
Yes.
Not only the block shots, but he changes a lot of shots. Now, obviously, the Celtics are a much better offensive team, but your question was, Mike, if I'm drafting essentially a team for the playoffs.
Right now, yeah.
And Evan Mobley is by far the best post defender. He's the only good post defender.
I had
really in
Mobley
this
next.
series.
So, we're arguing one. I had Mobley 6.
I had
So, we're
Mobley
arguing
6.
one spot here.
All right, so 5 is going to be Drew Holiday. I had him 7, by the way. Probably
Holiday?
too low.
Dang, who you having? Who
I had Darius ahead of him, which was probably a bad call.
No, Darius is after
That's
Mobley.
probably a bad call. But anyway, so 5 is Holiday, 6 is Mobley.
And the thing with Mobley and Holiday, and
Yeah.
Jason, feel free to chime in on this, it's the guard and the post version of essentially the same player.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you guys have
Terrific
Mobley
defense.
6 or no?
Yes.
And you just
I
don't know
got-
what you're
I
getting
think-
offensively.
You had Mobley 6, Mike?
I had Mobley 6.
I got
correct?
Mobley 6.
Okay, so that's it. All right, so 7, I had Drew Holiday.
No, it's
So I'll
Darius.
move down the guy I had 6, Garland, at 7.
I agree with that. I got him next.
Jason does not.
Dang.
He has him even lower.
Who you got
I
next?
put Horford 7.
Horford 7. Wow. I had Horford 9. I got Horford 9. Where you got Horford?
I did not have
Wait,
Horford
what number
next.
we on? Because I got him.
7.
This is 7.
I got Horford next.
Oh, you got him 8. I got him 9. Where you got?
So
7.
my 7, and it should be DG. Everything in my body wants to say DG.
Yeah.
But there are just stretches of the series against Orlando where
Yeah.
I thought he was bad. I just thought he was bad. Now, he
Yeah,
had
shit.
moments.
There's no doubt.
I had, and this is guys I want next, I had Strus at 7, and I know I'm probably going to kill for that.
Wow. I didn't have Strus in my top 10.
I didn't have Strus in my top
I got
10.
Struz 9th.
All right, so that means, Tyus and I both had Darius
Well,
7.
now you got to
so,
take. Okay, so
So Darius goes 7.
I had Darius 8. if
you
it makes a
both had
difference,
Darius
so.
7.
We had
I had
Darius
7.
7.
Okay.
So now 8.
I had Darius 8.
I
so
got
it's not
Horford.
seven.
All right, I got
Darius
Horford.
Because he's not completely out of this series, I did put Jarrett Allen 8.
I have Jarrett on the list, but I
yeah.
I mean, I got to go Horford because I have Horford higher than Derek.
Okay, Horford. I got Allen.
Horford.
At that point, Horford, yeah.
Yeah, I got Horford 9. Hold on one second. Here we go. Whoever's calling me, go fuck off. I'm on the air right now. Ooh, I shouldn't have said that. What?
And I'm the one with ADD.
Oh, my. Well, I was trying to be funny, but I shouldn't have said the F part. I apologize. Even though we're allowed to because we're streaming on YouTube. But I try not to say that word. Anyway.
Can you imagine if that was 11 o'clock, 11:45? Or Friday at
Yeah. Friday at 12:30. Okay, so.
We don't have a double.
I had Horford 9. Who did you have 8?
Anywhere.
Well, I had Strus, but I think I'm hanging on to my Strus stock, and I may end up.
So we're up to 9 now.
Yeah, Horford was 8.
I got Strus 9.
I'm going Jarrett Allen.
I had Jarrett Allen 9.
I got Strus 9.
I had Allen 10.
So
and his only injury
Earl
question.
and Anthony have to break the tie between
Strus
Allen and
for
Strus.
9. Take into consideration.
I mean,
current
I
health
know
status
where.
and
I know
whatnot.
Earl's going with Allen.
How? We don't know when he playing.
I think we're going to go with Strus because of current health.
I can't believe Earl just sold us out like that. That's terrible.
Actually, he could have made it a three-way tie if he would have said.
All right, so
Allen.
Strus 9.
I have Allen 10.
I got Allen 10.
I got a Coro 10.
I had Sam Hauser 10.
That's funny because I thought about it.
By the way, Sam Hauser, Sam
thought
Merrill, the
about him.
best shooting combination of White Sams in the history
White
of playoff
Sams.
series.
Yeah.
I actually thought about him.
Yeah, I like
What about
Sam
Sam
Hauser.
Bowie?
If Allen was completely out, I would put Hauser 10.
Nobody got no love for a Coro, huh?
I'm starting him.
So what? Jarrett Allen finishes 10, right?
Just because there's a chance he plays, I feel
Yeah,
like
we'll put
he
Jarrett
has
Allen
to
10.
be-
Well, I actually
if
had
he
Allen
didn't play,
8, so.
I'm cool with Sam.
All right, so there you go. So Jarrett Allen is 10.
Well, who's
So here's
9?
our list of the 10 players
Horford.
we want right now the most
Yeah.
for this playoff series. 1 through 10 and is Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Drew Holiday. So 4 Celtics, 1 Cav. The back end is the opposite. 1 Celtic, 4 Cavs. So it ends up being a 5-5 split at the end of the day.
Yeah, but 4 of the top 5
Top
are
heavy
Celtics.
versus bottom heavy. Mobley, Garland, Horford, Strus, and Allen with Sam Hauser and Sam Merrill also receiving.
And by the way, if
votes.
Porzingis
And
had
Isaac
not been hurt,
Okoro.
he'd be 6 in this probably. Maybe
Higher.
even 5.
I'm about to say
I'd
he
have him
played-
over Holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although Jarrett Allen would be higher too.
Jared
but,
Allen would be much higher if he was
but he would
healthy,
be
too.
would he be higher than any of the top 5 Celtics?
No,
I take him over Holiday.
Okay.
really.
And potentially Derek. I could talk myself into Derek White. He was having a great postseason. He was the one
don't
guy
know
before he
about
got
that.
hurt
I don't
that had
know
showed
about
up
that.
game in and game out for the Cavs. He's the one guy that wasn't.
Yeah.
You weren't able to point the blame at for their road collapses in Orlando the same way you were with others.
Maybe next time we should do the last 10 guys draft.
Bull, real quick before we move on,
You
I'm
just
going to name you
ignoring my
guys.
comment?
That's
No,
a
no,
horrible
no.
idea.
This is right on that.
The
right on
last
that.
10 guys?
Yeah, like
the
that.
worst 10?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
But I'm going to make up names.
None of them are going to play.
I know
And you
that,
have to tell
but
me
it'd
if
be
this is a
fun.
real player on the Celtics or a
Imani
made-up name.
Bates.
Oh, real player on the Celtics are made up names. Go ahead.
O'Shea Brissett.
Oh, that's made up.
No, it's real.
That's real.
We're doing this. This is essentially your bottom 10.
Go ahead.
How about Sly McCulick?
That's real.
That is real. He was a really good college player at Kansas. Johnson Tillman.
Fake.
Yeah, that's fake.
That was a trick.
What?
Johnson Tillman.
I did just combine 2 names.
Yeah.
Jaden Springer.
That's real.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. He played for the 76ers. And last but not least. That's too easy, too easy. Never mind. They're out of players.
I did all right.
They're
3 out of 4. 3 out of 4. I know my deep bench Celtics.
Let's see. Let me
By
look
the
at
way-
the regular season. Hold on. Let me get the real advanced here.
All right, come on.
Danilo Blanton.
That's fake.
That's real. Lamar Stevens played for the Celtics this year.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Drew Peterson.
That's real.
Damn it, I thought I was going to get you with that one. Drew Peterson, white guy from USC.
I know all the white guys from USC.
Neemias Quintetta.
There's no way that's real.
Anthony, get on the mic and please.
I can't believe you thought he made that up on the spot.
I-
That's real.
Born in 1999, went to Utah State, second round pick from
Tonight we're
Sacramento.
gonna party like it's 19.
And last one,
Victor Carantina.
Jordan Walsh.
Fake.
No, he's real. He was their first-round pick this year. All right, that's your bottom 5 players.
By the
in
way,
draft.
before we get to our predictions on this series,
do you know who Tinkus Pingus is?
that's a fake name.
Victor
Pinkus,
Carantina.
Pinkus. That's good though. Anybody watch the games last night?
I
The
saw the
Pacers
first half of
and Knicks?
Minnesota.
Yeah, I turned that off.
I watched the last few minutes of Pacers-Knicks.
I watched the fourth quarter. That was exciting. I mean, the energy in the crowd was
Tyrese
through the
Halliburton
roof.
turned the ball over.
That kick ball call was a terrible call.
It was.
The charge
The ref
was
said it
The
was bad,
charge
too.
was terrible. They
not the
reviewed
charge,
it.
the
offensive
illegal,
foul.
the illegal screen.
Yeah,
I was like,
but
oh my goodness.
What sucks is they review it, and like letter of the law, that's a foul. But you can't call that.
First thing I thought was the
Yeah.
women's
Wo-
Final
women's
Four
final-
game here.
No.
It was the exact same thing. Where I'm
Yeah.
like, that
Yeah.
is ridiculous.
I think this was even
call that.
less. This
It
was
was.
even less of a foul.
It was.
Can I say something about that real quick? Not
Yeah.
the call, but if you guys watched the Denver-Minnesota game, it was an ass-kicking.
Yeah.
From the get-go, Minnesota completely, even without Rudy Gobert, took Denver out of their entire offensive. They made them look completely pedestrian.
so bad that he
There's
threw a
something
heat
to take
pad.
away from that as a road team going into a hostile environment. Minnesota played with 0 ounce of fear.
Yeah.
The confidence was through the damn roof. Every player who
Right.
stepped on the court, from Anthony Edwards, who's their star.
You going to start giving him more love, Mike? You've been dissing him lately.
Yeah, you
Because
have.
I said Luka was a little better. Luka just
By the
closed out
way, I think I'm the
Yes.
only one that picked Minnesota to win in the first round.
No, I did.
Some of these guys didn't.
I
Jay picked
never.
Phoenix.
I
But
wouldn't-
my point is,
who
and the
did they
Cavs can
play
take
in the
this.
first round?
If you're going to slay a giant like that, which
Yeah.
is what the Cavs are up against
Yeah.
Boston, you have to go in knowing you can accomplish
That's right.
the end goal. And we've
And-
seen it stretches against Orlando, and there's some players in particular whose confidence has been wavering. They need 100% confidence, turn up to the max,
but
which
Mike-
is easier said than done. I get it.
And-
But it's a team mentality that starts from the
But-
top and radiates down
But
to
the
the bottom.
Minnesota's way better than the Cavs.
But that's
no?
not the point. My point off of that whole thing is it all started with Anthony Edwards going in there and ripping the soul of the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
Then he goes right into.
Oh, it was the Suns, right?
Yeah.
A
Then
lot
he
of
goes
people
into
thought the Suns would win.
He go
because of
right into.
experience.
What I like about Anthony Edwards is he don't care who it is. He don't back down for nobody. And Donovan Mitchell is the same way. But for some odd reason,
Yeah.
it's contagious in Minnesota.
Yeah.
They see Anthony Edwards do that. They like, let me get a piece of that. And
Stop
the
with it.
Cavs do not do that. And I
People
don't
gotta-
understand it.
People got to stop with the Jordan comparisons. People are
Yeah, he came
way
out.
of
He
pocket.
came out and said, "Don't stop doing
but
that."
You're way out of pocket. Let the guy's never even been to the finals.
He might be this year.
He might be. I mean, right now, they got to be the favorite to go to the finals. No?
They look like the best team in
I
the
mean,
league
you're
right
up
now.
2-0 on the champs.
Yeah. By the way,
They threw the heat pack in. They threw the towel in. Jamal Murray.
the Suns
threw
are done,
threw the
right?
Heat pack in.
Kevin Durant's finished, which is good. I like the changing of the guard in the NBA. The Warriors are done. The Suns are done.
You know,
I still root for LeBron, but he's kind of done.
Kevin
I mean,
Durant and LeBron can be very relevant. If
Nah,
Kevin
they're
Durant,
finished.
if Kevin Durant said, "You know what? I'm going back to OKC," and LeBron went back to the Cavs, oh, it'd be they still a ring.
LeBron's going to stay in LA because that's where he wants to be, Jason.
I don't.
right?
I mean, I don't.
And they're never
doesn't
going to win
bother me.
anything. They're a fraud.
Doesn't bother me.
They
I'm
suck.
just saying.
No, I was going to say one other thing. Damn it.
Victor Carey.
Man, Jalen Brunson,
Stud.
this guy just became the 4th player ever to have, 5 straight 40-point games?
Four
Was it 4?
straight.
I think it was
He
in
has
the playoffs.
230 points in his last 5 games. That's the most since Michael Jordan.
Jason, what do you make of
in
this?
93.
This guy's one of the best players in the league. He gets no credit.
He kind of feels. I may regret saying this. He kind of feels like Kyle Lowry to me.
Dang.
As a guy who's
Don't do that.
no. It's a compliment. It's a guy who's bounced around
Yeah.
and then figures it out a little bit. I mean, he's only 27.
Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying, Mike? Do you think I'm nuts with that, or do you think
I don't think that's a fair comparison because even when he was in Dallas this last year, it was Luka and Jalen Brunson. They should have never let him go.
it just feels like he's emerging as this not late career but mid-career star.
Yeah.
That sort of like Kyle did. Like Kyle bounced around for a bunch of different
Yeah.
teams and then got to Toronto and exploded and blew up. It just kind of has that feel to
And
it.
they don't even have what's his name?
Randall, which may be a good thing, by the way. For them.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That was a great game. That was a lot of fun to watch.
I thought they
Let's
was
hope we get a
lose.
similar game one tonight.
I know.
From the Cavs and
want
Celtics.
the Cavs
We're going
to
to make
stay
our
in it.
official picks for the series after a reminder that FanDuel is the official sportsbook partner of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. It's winner take all time, in the NBA and NHL. And FanDuel is giving you a shot to bring home a big win of your own. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 to bet on spreads, money lines, player props, and more. Visit FanDuel.com/UCSS and make every playoff shot count. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
Who embarrassed themselves more the last few days? Jimmy Butler with his comments about the Celtics? Or did you see Ben Simmons at that
The Met Gala?
the Met Gala?
With the clock?
With the clock,
The
like
Flavor
Flavor Flav?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
More embarrassing.
Did you see Doja Cat at the Met Gala?
No.
Do you
More
know who
embarrassing was Jimmy Butler.
heard of it.
You can't. When
Jimmy
Pat
Butler.
Riley.
I couldn't believe I was calling him a clown for his comments. There were people on Twitter defending him. Pat Riley said, "You got to shut the hell up. You're not playing."
I love what Pat said. It's not going to
Right?
sit well with the players probably, but
Who
I
cares?
loved
What
it.
does Pat care?
Yeah.
I mean, shut up, Jimmy Butler.
So let me ask you guys this.
Yeah.
We asked
Does
Jay,
he still have that
and Earl.
hairstyle where he looks like a girl?
No.
Oh,
he
you
did it for
stopped
one
that?
day. We asked G, Jay, and Earl yesterday on the panel for
Yeah.
their picks for the series.
Did any of them pick the Cavs to win?
None of them picked the Cavs. They all picked the Celtics.
Wow.
Are you guys going to follow
I guess
suit?
I shouldn't be surprised.
And is everyone on the panel today also picking the Celtics to win this Eastern Conference semifinal series?
I got the Celtics in 5, guys. I hope the Cavs can be more competitive, but it just doesn't seem realistic. I don't know. Celtics in 5. Jason?
Yeah.
I thought there were going to be some big
No, I
breaking
was
news
going to
here.
say like Cavs in 6 or Celtics in 4.
Yeah.
But it pains me to say Celtics in 5 because I do think the Cavs can give them a really good series. They have the talent to do it. They do. But it just hasn't fit well this year. They aren't playing their best basketball. And Boston is legit. They are really, really, really good. So it's hard to say anything. It's hard to say anything but Celtics in 5, if not 4.
Tyus? Cavs are 11.5-point dog in game 1.
Cavs in 7.
Oh!
Gotta be different.
Cavs in 7.
Do you really believe that, or are you just saying it?
Cavs in 7. And you know what happens after the Cavs? JB gets another year as the Cavs head coach, and everybody's upset about it.
Yeah.
Cavs in 7. Just to make
Boston's
the offseason
minus
very interesting this year.
100 to win the series.
Cavs in 7.
Ty,
D-
put
D-
$100 in the Cavs.
DG finds his confidence, and
Yeah,
that's
but you win a lot of
the
money.
game changer right
You win
there.
a lot of money if you bet $100 on the Cavs to win the series.
I don't bet $100 on anything.
Especially
Smart.
since that
$10.
means,
I got $10 for it.
since the Cavs in 7 means Cavs winning in the Garden in Game 7.
Woo!
Yeah.
It would change. It would be the changing of the the changing of the guard.
Yeah.
They finally crossed over to
Yeah.
elite status.
By the way, Jason, I mean, as someone who's covered the NBA as long as you, I'm very surprised. There's only one Garden. The Garden is New York.
I don't know. There's 2 gardens.
Yeah.
Come
there's
on
2
now.
Gardens.
There's 2.
Oh, come on
There's
now.
2 Gardens.
There's only one Garden. Let's go.
I put it on our text chain. The 4 best. I've never covered a playoff game in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Obviously, but Boston, Toronto, Oracle, and Cleveland are the best environments I've ever been in. The loudest arenas I've ever
Yeah.
been in.
You
for a
going
playoff
to the
game.
game in Boston?
Well, I better hurry up and get on the plane.
Yeah,
if I'm
right.
going.
No, not today.
No, I'm not covering the road game.
On TV, it sounded crazy. I've never been to a Knicks playoff game either, but it sounded crazy on TV.
Did you go? You went last year to Madison Square Garden?
No.
No. I've
If
been
Tyvus's
troubled.
prediction is correct,
Yeah.
I will be in Boston for a different wedding on that Sunday.
Oh,
And I
really?
will go to Game 7, and hopefully the Cavs win.
What did you pick? Celtics in
I'm
5?
taking Celtics in 6. I think the Cavs can make this competitive. I think their 3-point shooting has to get better. I don't think they can shoot worse as a team. And we saw it in Game 2 against Miami. Boston's going to let you have a couple threes. They're going to play their defense. If you can make threes, you can beat them. I get Jason's point, but I agree with John. If the Cavs are going to win this series, you have to take and make a ton of threes, which I think they're capable of.
And I don't want to make it sound like I don't think the Cavs should shoot threes. I'm just saying early in the game,
To get some confidence.
attack the rim, try and catch a rhythm, and then build out to the three-point line. If you come out shooting threes in the Garden and they're not falling, you're going to be in a really big hole, and it's going to be really hard to come back from that. That's the only point I was trying to make.
I think,
and that's fair for the record. That's totally fair.
I think that this Minnesota series is going to be very inspiring to the Cavs because they'll think to themselves, why can't we do that?
But was Minnesota a big underdog in the series?
No.
So the Cavs are Boston is minus 1,600.
Yeah.
Denver was minus 200.
I mean, come on. That's 1/8 the price.
Minnesota was the 1 seed for most of the season.
Yeah, I mean, there's no comparison.
But
there.
they've never been in that spot before.
Exactly.
True.
You talk
but-
about skipping steps. They skipped from the back of the line. They got the fast pass.
You can't tell me that from now on, teams ain't gonna look at themselves and say, "Why can't we do that?" We can do that. We got the same type of talent. We got a dog that's our leader. We could do the same thing. We just got to follow suit. And I'm hoping that they look at that and be like, "Why we can do that?"
The Wolves' 2 big men are way better than the Cavs' 2 big men.
One is more skilled. Rudy Gobert Rudy Gobert didn't even play last night. He was at the birth of his newborn son, I think. So they only had one.
Priorities.
Their biggest thing.
Mike, here's what I want to say to you though, real quick. If you got the Cavs, the Celtics in 6, which 2 games do you have the Cavs winning?
I hadn't gone game by game like that.
Because based on that, you either have them winning a game in Boston, which seems
I don't
unlikely.
think it's listen. They're 13-13 over the last 2 seasons at home in the postseason. Like that, as much as we talk about the Garden being a gauntlet, and they went 37-4 at home this season to the regular season. They beat everyone. They beat the break. They went 64-18. They can get got.
Okay, so what are you saying now?
I think they split in Boston, they split in Cleveland, and then they lose 5-6.
Okay.
I think it's 2-2 after 4.
If the Cavs come home in an 0-2 hole, it's over. Like I think they've got it's.
I agree with that. Cavs aren't winning 4 or 5 against this team.
They've got to get one of these first 2. If they get one of these first 2, it's game on. But you've got to get one of these first 2. And to Mike's point, our 2018 finals, and I'm not saying the Celtics or the 2018 Warriors, but there's a couple of comparisons or similarities to me. Number one, I remember talking to Cavs players afterwards during that series who felt like the Warriors are fragile. Like they're there to be taken. This is not the dominant team from KD's first year in Golden State. Like they can be got. But the Cavs didn't have the pieces. They were one piece short from really being able to put that pressure on them and break them. And I don't know if the Cavs have that piece now to do that. But I do think Boston is fragile in the sense that all the pressure's on them, and they've never done it.
Yeah.
And until they prove they can.
Well, they've gotten to the finals before.
But they've never won it. And secondly, it just felt like that game 1 when JR lost track of the score, that was their moment to at least make it a competitive series.
Right.
And once that happened, then it was all over. And it's that close of margin of error for the Cavs in this one that like you can't
if they blow an opportunity.
You can't have those lapses in this series.
If they're close in because it feels like they'll get blown out in one of these games in Boston.
Oh, for sure.
And the other one is going to be close. And if they don't find a way to win that, then they're done.
It doesn't matter. Whatever team loses this series, their coach is getting fired next year. So
that's true.
That's probably actually true. Did you see the first round? I tweeted this out. The first round, the Cavs were outscored by the Magic by 31
I did
points.
See that from you. Yeah.
It was the 4th worst point differential.
It's amazing
in playoff history for the team that won the series.
Yeah.
And the number 1 was the Cavs in 2018 against the Pacers.
Right.
They got outscored by 40 by the Pacers and won the series.
If I gave you over/under plus 65 point differential for the Celtics in the series, what are you doing?
Under.
Well, yeah, sure. Mike, Jason, over/under plus 65 for the Celtics as the over/under in the series. That would mean the Cavs.
I'll take the under. I think it's going to be closer than people are giving it. I still think Boston wins. I think Cleveland can keep it close.
I think the Cleveland games are going to be close.
Yeah.
I think Boston's going to boat race them in one out there.
Yeah. So they keep it under 65.
I think that's a really good number, but I'll take the under.
Okay.
Because that's an average of 13 a game, basically.
Last point on the Cavs, and we'll talk Guardians and Browns.
By the way, real quick.
Yep.
Who do you think the Celtics? The Celtics want to play Indiana, or do they want to play the Knicks?
Probably Indiana.
Who, the Celtics?
Is this the
Definitely
easy?
Indiana.
This is like a LeBron level easy run to the finals for them, no? Or the Knicks
that's
a
why
real
all
challenge?
the pressure, which to Jason's point,
Yeah.
all the pressure in the world.
Yes.
And the world is on the Celtics, and they have a head coach in Joe Mazzulla, who we didn't mention a whole lot the last 2 days, and probably bad job out of us.
I wanted to ask your guy if he thought Joe was a good coach.
Right. Can the Knicks or Pacers beat the Celtics?
Knicks good. I don't know about the Pacers.
The Knicks can definitely beat the.
When it comes to crunch time, you trust Jalen Brunson a whole lot more than you trust Tatum Brown.
Okay.
And these
I mean,
games,
Tatum has a chance to change that narrative.
By
the way, I do think it's funny that Donovan Mitchell yesterday, or whenever it must have been Sunday, was essentially complaining. First, he said, we've accomplished nothing, we've done nothing, we got to win the next series. And then the next question, he said, well, there's this narrative that we're not tough and we can't win. Well, you're part of that narrative. You just said you've accomplished nothing. So you can't blame the media for creating a narrative when you just essentially said the same thing.
He's done everything he could to change the narrative on himself, for sure.
I don't agree with that. It's the first
Are
round.
you serious?
The way he played 6 and 7. Yeah, it's the first
It's
round.
the first round, Jason.
I get that,
But he
still.
couldn't get out of the first round through the last 4 years.
But you don't change the narrative about your like he doesn't move up the pantheon of players by beating great as he played by beating Orlando.
But he changes the narrative if he can't get out of the first round. He changes the narrative of if you go back and look at his offensive rating the last 3 years, it's gotten worse and worse and worse until Game 6 and 7 of that series.
That's fine.
He's not going to be a top 3 player in the league because he won a first round
Right,
series.
exactly.
No.
That's all I'm saying.
He won a ring,
I
in my
love what he
opinion.
did. He was amazing. But anyway, go ahead, Mike.
Speaking of the number 3, we're going to talk some Guardians now.
Yeah.
And one specific 3 after a quick word from Monopoly Go. In Monopoly Go, you can team up with your friends for timed tournaments where you work together to build up each other's boards. The more you win together, the more awesome prizes you unlock, such as unique stickers you can trade with friends to complete big albums, cool new playing pieces to travel the boards with, and hilarious emojis for taunting friends when you smash their buildings or heist their vaults. Plus, Monopoly Go feels new and exciting every day with constantly changing tournaments and challenges. There's always something fun to discover in Monopoly Go. So get off the bench and go download it now for free on the Google Play or App Store. Monopoly Go. Game on. Kyle Manzardo made his Major League Baseball debut yesterday.
Yep.
For the Cleveland Guardians, and it was not the greatest of debuts of all time. He was 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts.
Greatest. It was just bad.
What'd you guys think, and what'd you make of the at-bats we saw from Kyle Manzardo in his first stint with the Cleveland Guardians?
I thought that it went the way I thought. I would have liked to have seen him get one hit for confidence, but I was talking to Earl, his first major league pitch, straight down the middle, right what you want, and he should have swung at it. He kind of took the pitch. And I don't think he really got a good pitch like that for the rest of his time at the plate. But I really thought that I wanted to see the plate discipline that you talked about, and I really wanted to see him put the ball in play. I'm not going to judge him off of one game.
Yeah.
I think he'll be fine moving forward. He just got to get more aggressive at the plate to me.
It's whatever.
It's one game. It's hard to get work done. Yeah. Obviously, a guy comes up, it's exciting, you want to see him have success right away. It often doesn't go that way.
Right.
It's disappointing that he went 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. And, yeah, maybe he was a little anxious, maybe he was a little – you never know what's going inside a guy. You never know how he handles that situation. I think he'll be fine, but as much as I've been screaming for him to come up, you never know. Like, there are a lot of – by the way, Jose Ramirez was up and down, minors and majors, for a while. I've mentioned Jackson Holliday a number of times this year. Number 1 prospect in baseball, came up, went like 2 for 40 or whatever it was.
But that's
I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying it's possible.
Whoa, he went what?
Whatever it
I
was.
think he was 1 for 31.
And he
1
had
for
like
31.
He had like 20 strikeouts.
Yeah, like it was terrible. But,
Jeez.
for all I know, Manzardo could hit a home run today.
But Holliday's also what, 20?
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Manzardo's
Manzardo's older.
23. And if he is going to have those struggles and he does have to go back down, that's even more reason to get him up.
Right. Get that out of the way.
There was nothing else for him to do at AAA.
Nothing, no.
If he's just going to keep punishing the same pitches over and over again, where's the growth in that? At least now, bring him up, See if he struggles. If he does, you can send it back down. Now he's got something to work on.
Yeah.
But you got to get that clock going. To just him keep crushing pitches in AAA without the experience didn't make any sense.
How would you rate the pitching of the Tigers? Like
it's solid. I mean, Jack
so if he
Flaherty, who was pitching for the Tigers yesterday, has been a guy. When he first came up, he was like a fantastic young pitcher. And the last few years, he struggled with the Cardinals, became a free agent, signed with Detroit. He's been very good for them so far. If you look at his ERA, it was like 4 coming into yesterday. Misleading. His WHIP is around 1. He had over 50 strikeouts in I think 30-something innings coming into yesterday's game. Their pitching's pretty good.
So he'll miss their best pitcher, which he probably wouldn't even be in the lineup anyway because he's left-handed.
Yeah.
Detroit's best pitcher is one of the best in the game right now.
So that's going to be interesting.
If they give
Willie said they're supposed to face a righty his first 4 games. Their 5th game is Garrett Crochet from the White Sox.
Just nasty.
Right. But I would play
from the White Sox.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Garrett Crochet.
Yeah.
Lefty, throws really hard.
Okay.
Ton of strikeouts.
Yeah.
I ain't hip to him.
Manzardo was hitting lefties well this year in AAA.
Yeah, I would play him against everybody right now. I mean, just because I want him in there. There's no reason not to have him in the lineup every day.
Well, if he's 0 for 12, you may want to sit him.
That would change. But, listen, who's pitching for the Tigers tonight? I can't remember. It's not Mize. It's not Skubal. Oh, Kenta Maeda. So you're facing a veteran. Now, his numbers are a little misleading because he got off to a bad start. But his last 2 starts, he's given up 1 run. And he's always a bad April pitcher. So he's a good pitcher.
Yeah.
Veteran guy. But he's a righty, too. He's not, he's a good pitcher, but he's not overpowering. So Manzardo needs to be more aggressive. I think he wanted to kind of see some pitches in the big leagues. But I like seeing young players come up and get aggressive. Like, you got to be.
That's what you better be.
You got to go up there. To me, when I'm a young player, I'm thinking fastball on the first pitch every time.
Yeah.
And especially because when you come up to the big leagues for the first time, pitchers are more likely to challenge you because they don't have a full grasp of your strengths and weaknesses. And they think you're going to be tentative. And so they're going to challenge you with a fastball as Flaherty did. And I want to see him come up there like we've seen with a lot of the Guardians hitters this year.
You think
be aggressive on the first pitch.
If you think his first pitch today he'll be a fastball?
Probably.
You think so?
Yes.
Establish a fastball, get ahead in the count.
You think his first pitch, man?
Especially after what they saw
yesterday, you think he gonna do it again?
You dot the right spot in the strike zone with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
I gotta make
it's
sure.
hard to hit.
I gotta make sure I tune in to see his first pitch.
I mean, if you miss your location, it's going. But if you hit the right spots. I mean, 98 on the outside corner is hard.
Was he batting 7th?
He was batting 7th yesterday. I kind of like that they're DHing him. They're just saying to him, focus on your hitting.
Yeah.
And Naylor prefers to play first base, although, as Zach and I discussed yesterday on the Ultimate Cleveland Guardian show, if you missed it, check it out, they're going to need to eventually play Manzardo at first, at least half the time, because Naylor's biggest flaw is he always gets hurt. And if he DHs more, he's got a better chance of staying healthy.
Yeah.
You've lost, arguably, I think it's a pretty good argument that Stephen Kwan is the MVP of the Guardians the first month of the season.
Yeah.
And you've now lost him for at least a month, which is devastating. I hear people trying to convince themselves it's not devastating. It is. Listen, maybe the Guardians will overcome. So far they have. They've won 3 in a row since he got hurt. But this is a huge injury. And now the last guy you can afford to lose is Naylor or Ramirez.
Who do you want to see in the leadoff spot?
Well, I proposed this. I said, Zach, you might think I'm crazy, but I proposed. Now, he doesn't play every day, but David Fry, since coming to the big leagues, and especially this year, has been phenomenal at getting on base.
Yeah.
In fact, his on-base percentage this year is close to 500. And I would, on the days that I have David Fry in the lineup, I would lead him off. Now, does he have the speed of a traditional leadoff man? No. But these days, you see all the time guys without great speed. And he runs decently for a catcher.
Yeah.
He's not like a typical catcher because he can play other positions. On the days he's not leading off, I'm leading off Jimenez. I don't understand why Florial's in the leadoff spot.
It was one game.
I think it's been the last 3 games. Mike, hasn't Florial led off 3 games in a row? Or at least 2?
Double check.
Here's what I think Vogt's doing. He's like, I don't want to mess with the lineup the rest of the guys that are working. And so instead of moving everybody up, even though Florial is not good at getting on base.
He's not a leadoff hitter.
He's not a leadoff hitter. They're saying, well, let's not disrupt the whole lineup. Let's take him from the bottom and move him up.
that.
But I don't like that theory.
I mean, you're starting with an automatic out. Well, not an automatic out.
Yeah. But not a guy. I mean, the reason that Naylor and Ramirez for the last 3 years have as many RBIs as they do, part of it's they're good hitters. But a big part of it is that Stephen Kwan gets on base. There's only 11 players in terms of guys that play every day. There's only 11 players that have gotten on base this year at a 40% or better clip. And Stephen Kwan was one of them. That list includes Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts.
I mean, he's among the league leaders in runs scored every year.
Right.
Kwan is.
Because he's great at getting on base, and he was off to the best start of his career.
Yeah.
And so that's going to hurt. So at least Jimenez or even Fry, when he plays, have done a good job of getting on base. Nobody's going to be Kwan. There's no real replacement for Kwan.
Right.
But Florial, I'll give Vogt the benefit of the doubt because I like the job he's done.
He's pushed
so far.
all the right buttons so far.
But I don't like Florial in the leadoff spot at all.
No, I agree.
He was all right yesterday.
What do you have? One hit? I think he had a hit.
Did he have one or two?
I don't think
two
he had
hits?
a hit.
I thought he had.
I thought he was 1 for 1. When
What was Florial
made his
yesterday, Mike?
first
I don't
hit.
remember.
I thought he was
L'Oreal
1 for 3.
was
1 for 3, wasn't
Yeah, he's 1 for 3.
Yeah.
1 for 3.
Okay,
Scored
I'm
the
about to
first
say
one.
he definitely had a hit now because I watched it.
But listen, the Guardians, it's crazy, honestly, what their record is.
he? Yeah.
It's crazy. What's nuts is, on paper, they're a mediocre team on paper right now.
Yeah.
And
Especially without Kwan.
especially without Kwan. They're mediocre on paper, and then you say, well, there must be a bunch of guys overachieving. Not really. I mean, in the bullpen, maybe. But if you look between the starting rotation and the lineup, who's overachieving?
Nobody, especially in the rotation. I mean,
nobody. There's
McKenzie
nobody.
did pitch well last night.
McKenzie was encouraging again.
Yeah, I mean, I could argue Ben
6
Lively's
Ks.
overachieving, but it's only been three or four starts for him. So,
Bybee hasn't pitched well. Logan Allen's ERA is
No.
over 5. Cookie's been banged.
you have
around.
more guys between the rotation and the lineup. You have more guys underachieving than
And
overachieving,
they're 23-12.
and they're 23-12. It's amazing, and it's not like, well, the division. They have a good record against winning teams.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you look at Oakland's record against everybody else but the Guardians, they're over 500.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like 4 or 5 games
They
over
put
500.
up 20 runs like
Yes.
a couple days ago.
They did.
I think that it helps that the Guardians caught them so early because
Yes.
they were horrendous.
Well, their
They
lineup,
were horrendous.
their lineup still on paper is hideous.
But I mean, defensively, they were awful.
Right,
in
right.
both that series in Oakland
Yeah.
and when Oakland came here.
Right.
They were, because I said on the show, I thought Oakland was worse this year than they were last year.
I know.
Based on how they played against
but
the
their
Guardians.
pitching's been good.
Pitching's been better.
They've
Yeah.
got
They've
got
a
enough
good
a number
bullpen.
of veteran starters. Their closer's really good.
They've got a couple relievers.
Are they
Yeah.
willing to part ways with Sears?
Oh, they part ways with.
Probably.
So the
but
Guardians can still trade
if
him?
if I'm Oakland, their owner's a clown, so I don't know what he's going to do. But they're
Cut
competitive
payroll.
right now. I wouldn't
Cut
do it.
payroll.
Yeah, I mean the teams that are willing to trade right now are the Marlins, the Marlins, the White Sox, and the Rockies. Those
The
three
White
teams.
Sox
What's-
aren't going to trade with you because it's
But-
in
and
the division.
it's
I
not
was
like
about
the-
to say, what's the pitcher with the left hand that you say? is
Lizardo.
Jesus
He
Lizardo.
got hurt, although he's
coming
supposedly
off.
it's not a bad injury.
Yeah, I think he's coming soon.
Soon, yeah,
I
he'll
think
be
he's coming
back in the next week. Now he hasn't pitched well so far this year, but he's
Good.
He's right, so his value's down a little bit.
Yes.
I mean, the Rockies don't have a pitcher. Who do they have? They got no pitchers.
No, I mean,
who's their
Luzardo-
best starter? It's probably
They can hit, though, I'll tell you that.
I was surprised that Miami made that Arise trade as quickly as they did.
yeah. Well,
I mean, they're willing to deal, clearly.
definitely. I
But
mean,
I still think Luzardo, you would take that out to the trade deadline. I don't think you would move him now.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do. I mean,
What did you guys make of McKenzie yesterday, though?
oh yeah,
92, 93,
Hey,
almost 93.
I like what I'm seeing from McKenzie.
Oh,
Yeah,
to say.
after a really
The first two
season.
first couple of starts was rocky, but his
Yeah.
last few,
Yeah.
I say his
Very
last
encouraging.
3 has been pretty
Very
darn
encouraging.
good. Outside of the first pitch that went over the fence,
Yeah.
it was good.
I like whenever I see McKenzie with more strikeouts than innings, I'm feeling good about it.
yeah.
That's huge for
How
me.
many innings did he pitch yesterday?
5 innings,
You
6
got-
Ks.
Ideally, you need to get him
Yeah, you
a
want
little deeper.
But
into
the
the
last
game.
start, he
The
was
he's at 7,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, so listen. Right now, the bottom line is the Guardians. as well as they're playing, and I love it, and it's fun. They're fun to watch. They're going to need to make some additions at some point. But the bullpen has been lights out. Even Gaddis, who has struggled, had those 3 bad appearances in a row. Earl texted last night because Gaddis got himself in trouble again.
Yeah.
But he did a nice job getting out of that jam. It was a 1-run game. I think they had a runner on third, 1 out in the 8th?
I don't remember.
And I was surprised that he trusted Gaddis in the 8th after he had those. Now, he did pitch a scoreless appearance his last time, but he had three appearances before that he gave up runs. But Gaddis got out of the jam, and what can you say about Class A right now?
Best reliever in baseball right now.
I mean,
is there a better
His
one?
stuff's incredible.
I don't think there's a better
you
one.
know what? I know they're not going to do it, and let me say, they're not going to do it, or they better not do it, and I don't want them to do it. But the Guardians could get a haul for Class A in a trade.
Yeah.
Wasn't they talking about that before the season?
Yeah.
They can't do it now, or they better not.
They better
not. But if they wanted to, my God. You talk about the best reliever in baseball in an extremely team-friendly contract.
For years to
For
come.
years. I mean, that's the perfect scenario.
Why would they do that?
Because you never know with the Guardians. But I don't. Hopefully they won't.
They would
Hopefully
have to have. They'd have to have a replacement that they feel really, really
Right.
good about. And I don't know that.
What would
Barlow
you? What
or
would
Gaddis-
you? What would you say the need for trading Class A? Like, what would you want in return? If let's say they said we have to trade them, what would you ask for?
I'd have to get a absolute proven, not a prospect, a young hitter that's controllable, that is proven in the majors already.
Okay.
And then
Ideally shortstop, because they can't seem to figure that out.
right, and then I want your 2 best prospects on top of that.
Sheesh.
Do you know Class A is
think he
29
worth that?
saves away from being the franchise's all-time leader in saves?
He's
How many
what?
away?
29.
Yeah, I mean, the Guardians have had some good closers over the years, but not for
Only
like
for-
long stretches.
Can you name 1 through 4? He's currently in 5th. Can you name 1 through 4 in order?
In order, is Wickman number 1?
No, Wickman's number
No,
2.
1 is Cody Allen, right?
Correct.
Oh, that's right.
2 is well, I don't know if he's 2, but in the top 4 is Chris Perez.
Chris Perez is 4.
Okay, so we need
Wickman.
2 or 3. Is Wickman in the top 4?
Number 2.
Doug Jones.
Number 3.
Look at that, baby.
Where's Mesa?
Joe Table, where is he? 5th?
No, Class A's 5th.
Oh, 6th? Jose Mesa?
This tweet only listed top 5.
See,
so
because
we'll
Mesa
do it.
only
It wasn't
right,
right.
only a couple
time.
years. 95,
Yeah.
96, 97, and then after 97, he got to go.
That's right.
So, but that's how they do it. Like, they have really good closers, but it's only
Yeah.
for a couple of years, and then
Right.
they move on.
Yeah, I mean, Class A is already probably the second best closer in
Mesa
Guardians
is
history
6th.
behind Cody Allen.
You're right, Jason. Mesa's 6. If you guys can name 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Did we say Doug Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doug Jones was 3.
All right, so give me the order that we named.
in
have so
order,
far.
Cody Allen 1, Wickman 2, Doug Jones 3, Chris Perez 4, Class A 5, Mesa 6. Now 7, 8, 9, 10.
Now, how many saves did Mesa have for the Guardians?
104.
All right, so less than 100.
7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay.
This is great television.
Who's the? He was a Wickman. Like, he was always in trouble. Oh God, what was his name?
What years?
Don't ask me.
Yeah, this is
If
really
you're in the
All
chat,
the relief
man.
pitchers that have come into my mind were not
Take a
closers.
look in
I'm
the
thinking
chat.
like
See if
Eric
anyone's
Plunk
shopping.
popped into my head.
No.
You put this all
Andrew
over.
Miller didn't get enough saves. Kerry Wood was a disaster here
it was
when he was
one
relief
year.
pitcher.
I
I know I'm
know
gonna
the guy.
know all the
Joe.
names.
It was
Joe Borowski.
Yes.
Joe Borowski.
Number 10,
All right.
51
Combination
saves
effort.
for Joe Borowski. You need
How
9,
many?
51.
Doesn't he have like a car dealership or something somewhere around here? Joe Borowski.
I don't want to say this name because I don't think he is, and I don't want to ruin our streak. But Steve Carsey had a year or two where he was the
think he-
closer. But I don't think he had more
no.
than 50. So I don't think
I
he's
feel
on
like
the
we're
list.
forgetting somebody since I've been here in 2011. I feel like there's one guy, but it was Chris Perez. We already got him.
What was the order? Oh! No. I was going to say Jensen, but Jensen didn't have
No. Not Brian
Jensen Lewis
Shaw.
is not on the list.
He wasn't a closer here. Andrew Miller didn't get 90s. No. He wasn't
7,
close
8.
enough.
After Jones.
What? Can you give them the years?
Oh!
No.
Oh! Mike Jackson.
Mike Jackson's number 7.
Mike Jackson, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good
You
pull.
need 8 and 9. They had 58 and 53 saves.
8 and 9. So it went Mesa. Oh, John Rocker?
John Rocker is incorrect.
No, not he wasn't here.
He was here for a couple years.
You blew the streak.
You don't have to be there that long to get
that's
50
true, that
saves.
58.
It's not
Really, two, maybe 3 seasons.
Yeah, it's not that long.
I know
Kerry
we're going to
Wood
know
is
the
23rd on the list, just to give you
Huh?
a heads up. Kerry Wood is 23rd on the list, so that shows how there's not a ton of players.
Yeah.
All right, Mesa, and then it went Jackson, and then after
Blank, and then Joe Borowski.
This is interesting.
I'm trying to go by years. Actually, it was Mesa, and then Rocker, and then Mike Jackson.
Would you like initials? Would you like any type of hints?
Not yet.
I don't think Paul Shuey ever closed.
Oh, yes, he did.
But I don't think he had enough. Paul Shuey?
Paul Shuey?
Paul Shuey is not correct.
Yeah.
I'll give you a hint. One of the guys was during Bull's tenure here.
I knew there was a guy we were forgetting, and it's still not coming to me.
I believe he's still pitching in the pros as we speak.
Not Brian Shaw.
It's not Brian Shaw.
Oh, I got it. But I looked it up, though. I just wanted to see it.
Mesa.
What the hell am I forget?
KW Outdoors on Twitter got this correct. Not on Twitter, on the YouTube chat.
Nice
Beat
job,
you.
KW
So,
Outdoors. I'm going to be so pissed that I can't think of this guy
The other one is from way back.
from way back in the day.
So
Ernie
you have a
Camacho?
very, very current, very past.
Ernie Camacho?
Incorrect. Who else got it at? Old Ben also got it.
Like, they didn't really have a closer before Doug Jones, I don't think.
I'll give you a hint. The recent or the old one?
Give us the recent one hint.
2018 to 2020.
How did we... Andrew Miller? No.
No.
Who
He
is
has
it
the same first name as someone who is a part of the show at times.
Y'all funny.
Part of the show at times.
You funny because I see it.
2018 to 20 would have been after Cody Allen, before Clase.
You funny.
You guys each have 2 of them.
That's a legit hit, though.
Part of the show at times. So we got Brad.
No.
Brad Lidge? No, Brad.
Oh, my God.
Oh, Brad Hand.
Yes.
I totally forgot about. I knew there was a guy we were forgetting.
He was
Brad
very
Hand had
forgettable.
58
Brad Hand,
saves.
damn it.
How did we forget Brad?
And then the last one, I'm going to give it to you
Go
guys
ahead.
because he pitched
Give me
in
the
50.
initials.
RN.
RN.
He pitched 54 through 59 in Cleveland.
the years 1954 to 59?
Yes.
I don't know. They tracked saves back then.
Yeah.
I'm
RN.
out.
I don't know.
Ray Narleski.
I never even heard of him.
We could
I'm not gonna lie. I never
I've heard of
him.
him, but I never would have guessed that.
I mean, those were some bad Indians teams back
How
in
did
those
we
days.
forget freaking Brad
Shout out to
Hand?
the
I
chat.
kept saying there was a guy we're forgetting.
Shout out to the chat, and I'm sure there's more Anthony was giving, but
Yeah.
Outdoors and
I've never even heard
Old Ben for beating our 2 baseball experts. Bull has a spreadsheet.
Well, they also have the internet right
Yeah,
in
they
front
might
of
be
them.
cheating, but I'll give them
Don't
the
you
benefit
dare!
of the
No,
doubt.
don't you accuse the chat of cheating.
I said they
That
might
would
be,
not
but
stand
I
in my
said,
courthouse.
but I followed that by saying I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I think we did pretty well.
I think we did really well for
I
being
mean,
on
the
the
one,
spot
the
like
second
that.
guy we didn't get.
No,
No,
fair.
but who the hell heard of that guy?
That's
You got
fair.
you got to be over 60 to know that guy.
Ray Narleski is definitely not a common household name.
But we should have gotten Brad Hand.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
that's
just
a bad job
I was
on
like,
us.
there's a guy we're forgetting of this era.
Yeah.
And Brad Hand, because that was a big trade they made for him.
Yep, with the Padres. Yeah, that's,
I'm going to be pissed about that all night.
Yeah, that's bad.
All right, well,
We did
speaking of
pretty
being
good.
pissed,
Yeah, pretty good overall. Go
whenever
ahead.
Bull loses in fantasy football, he gets pissed, and we're going to talk fantasy football here in a second.
no
But a quick
doubt.
reminder that as soon as the final whistle blows in tonight's Game 1, we will have a live post-game show on our YouTube channel. Jason and I will be on the Ultimate Cavs show tomorrow. Bull did the Ultimate Guardian show on Monday. Make sure you check it out. Earl's going later this week on the Ultimate Guardian show. You can find out Colin Cowherd's controversial
Ultimate
Browns
216
record take.
show for Earl.
When?
You said Ultimate Guardian show for Earl. You meant
Ultimate 216. I apologize. My mind was so fixated on this controversial Colin Cowherd take about their AFC North predictions that I'm just clouded. So make sure you guys check it out.
Yeah.
Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we appreciate your guys' continued support. All right, Bull, I know you're the fantasy football, I don't want to call you an expert, but you're a guru.
I mean, you can call me an
Jason is
expert.
also very much
I'm
into
a
fantasy
multiple-time
football.
champion.
Tyus plays in multiple leagues.
I'm the defending UCSS champion.
That's true. You
Jason
are.
is into fantasy football. Jason spends the least amount of time preparing.
He does. He takes pride in that.
I know.
My whole theory is just be faster than. Don't have to be faster than the bear. Be faster than one other
Who
person.
did I play in the?
Just don't finish
Who did I
last.
play in the championship? Big Nut? No.
No, you beat G. Yeah, you beat
G,
G.
that's
Oh
right.
yeah.
G has lost the championship to. Oh no, I beat Jason 2 years ago. In the
No, you
championship.
Y'all should have just
Oh,
split
it
the
doesn't
money
matter.
because of that
Doesn't
funky.
matter.
That's
Oh,
when
I was winning by like 100 points.
when I had our
The
fantasy
topic at
guy
hand today,
draft my
guys.
team.
Yes.
ESPN put out its first mock draft in fantasy for the upcoming
For his
season.
fantasy mock draft.
It's
Fantasy
CMC
mock
number
draft.
one.
They
course.
did PPR. Those were the rules.
Yeah.
And they went 5 rounds. 10 teams, 5 rounds, 50 picks. There were
10
no
teams. 10 teams is lame, but go ahead.
I didn't do it. I'm just telling you what ESPN did.
What is ours?
There were no Cleveland
12.
Browns in the top 50 picks of ESPN's PPR
Yeah.
first mock draft. Is that a disservice to anyone on the Browns, or is that actually fair due to their projections in
Yeah.
terms of fantasy, not wins and losses? In
Right,
terms of
right. This
fantasy.
is not about the 50 best players in the NFL. It's the 50 best fantasy players. So I create my own, list of players, but I haven't done it yet. Of course I do, right? But I haven't done it yet because it's only May. So believe it or not, I don't get that far ahead with it. I've only done it for rookies because I was in the middle. I just completed a rookie fantasy draft. By the way, I'm going to call myself out here. So I'm in this dynasty league where you get guys and you have them for their whole careers. There's no contract. You just have a guy. And we had our rookie draft was this week. So I made a big trade. I traded Zach Moss, Matthew Stafford, who was my third quarterback, and the 8th pick in the draft for Jamar Chase, which was a steal, in my opinion, on my part.
Yeah. Have you had Stafford his entire career?
No, because we just started this league last year.
Oh, okay.
But I have Purdy and Lawrence, so Stafford's really my third quarterback, and he's old.
I
He's not
would
gonna
have
be good.
traded Lawrence before Stafford.
Well, the guy wanted Stafford, and I wasn't going to mess with it because he's offering me Jamar Chase. So I wasn't going to mess with it. So
Now he knows you.
Wait, so
he thinks you got one over.
yeah,
on him.
he lives in New York and doesn't care
So
about Cleveland sports. He's not watching.
eighth pick, Mike. You get the 8th pick of the rookie.
Oh, the rookie draft. But then I was like, well, I want back into the rookie draft. So I traded my 25 rookie first-round pick to get the 9th pick in the 28 draft.
So you got 8 and 9.
No, he traded away.
I traded 8 away. I got 9. So I had the 9th pick. And who did I take? A guy who I said on the show is not going to be good. J.J. McCarthy.
Oh, jeez.
I'm like, well, I don't get it right in my predictions all the time.
Now you're covered one way or the other.
And I was like, if I'm wrong, at least I'm like, he's in a great spot with Minnesota,
You talked
right?
yourself into it. Huh?
So there were already 3 quarterbacks off the board.
Who
And
was the third? Caleb,
Jaden Daniels and
Drew, Drake May.
yeah.
Okay.
And so I was like, all right, I'll take him at 9. So there you go. So I'm a bit of a hypocrite because I say he's going to stink. Now I'm rooting for him. Now I want J.J. McCarthy.
Why didn't you take like Xavier Worthy or something?
He might have. I can't remember if he was gone or not. I got my team. I'm loaded with with receivers and running backs.
okay.
I needed a third quarterback.
I got
because
you.
it's a 2
I
quarterback
think the
league.
JJ pick actually might do you a lot of service.
Could be.
Because he's surrounded by a ton of talent.
Exactly.
So.
So
Who
anyway,
would that guy take at 8? Who'd he get with 8?
I'll look it up. But in terms of the Browns fantasy players, so because I didn't have my list ready, I went to my man Dave Richard, who's been on this show before. He's one of the guys in the fantasy industry I really respect. And I looked at his list to see where he had, because the only guy you consider in the top 50 for fantasy is Amari Cooper, unless it's a 2 quarterback league. But even in a 2 quarterback league, Deshaun's still not making the top 50.
No.
He was on my fantasy team last year, and
Right.
and I won.
And he didn't
it.
do it.
You didn't do it at the
Well,
top
not
50
because of
pick.
him.
I take him. He was my second pick.
You took Deshaun Watson in the 2nd round?
With us, quarterbacks go fast.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
I
true.
sure did.
And going into last year, there was higher
I
expectations.
needed a quarterback.
But
yes.
you didn't win because of him.
No, because he was on IR. I won because of Amari Cooper, technically.
So I wanted to see where Dave had Amari Cooper ranked. And on his list, he had Amari Cooper 51.
Oh.
right outside.
Now, I looked at Dave's list from 40 to 50, and I could have made a case for at least half of those guys being after.
Yeah.
It's a crap. So, yes, you can make a case for Amari Cooper being somewhere between 40 and 50 in a fantasy draft. But it's not outrageous that he didn't make the top
No.
50. Like I said, Dave.
I mean, how many receivers go in the top 50? Like what receiver?
In a one-quarterback league, you're going to have, let's see, you're going to have, say, 15 running backs, probably about 20 to 25. About 20 receivers. Between 20 and 25. And from a fantasy perspective, he usually is in that range, like 20 to 25, 20 between 20 and 30 in terms of a fantasy wide receiver. And I think part of the reason he's a little lower is in the fantasy community and the NFL community, there are concerns about Deshaun Watson.
Yep.
Plus, you've added Jerry Jeudy.
But it don't matter what. He's still the number one option. He's still going to get his targets.
Right, but there's a lot of other guys who are number one options on other teams with either better quarterbacks or where they throw the ball more. The Browns have maybe going away from it, but they've been more of a running team, contrary to all the complaints about Nick Chubb carries.
But they literally about to throw the ball a lot.
Well, we'll see.
Where will Nick Chubb go in the UCSS draft?
So that's going to be interesting.
Undrafted.
Now,
Oh, come on.
No, of
He'll
course.
go in the second round to some
Now,
lunatic.
on Dave's
telling
list,
You're in the dang drill.
I ain't taking him in the second
All
round.
right, then.
I looked it up. Dave had him 85th
Oh, wow.
on his list because we don't know,
Right.
by the time
could
we
miss the first month.
By the time we actually do a fantasy draft the week before the season,
There'll be
we'll
more
have a better
clarity.
feel for where
Right.
Nick Chubb is.
Right.
But right
Don't
now,
look at me like I'm crazy.
I'm telling you, right? Undrafted. You know who we're drafting with?
undrafted.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Because I would take him and put him right on that PUP list and put him on IR until he's healthy.
He will go within the top 4 rounds of our draft, if not the top 3.
That's no.
Even
Yeah.
if they have to
No.
take his leg. between
Not
now-
ours. No.
Oh, yes, he will.
No.
By the way, first round of this rookie draft. Here it
Yeah.
is. Marvin Harrison Jr. 1.
Smart.
Smart.
Brock Bowers 2. Now that sounds crazy,
Where
but
did
in
he
this
go?
league,
He going to the Raiders, right?
right? In this league you get 2 points per reception for a tight end.
Oh, wow.
So tight ends go higher. 3rd, Caleb Williams. 4th, Jaden Daniels. 5th, Malik Neighbors. 6th, Drake May. 7th, Rome Adunzi. How do you say his last name? 8, Brian Thomas. Then I took McCarthy 9, Lad McConkey 10, Xavier Worthy 11, and Bo Nix
I
12.
would have took Lad McConkey. I like him.
That's it.
He's going to be the slot guy.
The Browns wide receiver who they drafted late did not get picked in any of the 48 selections.
Jamari. What the heck?
What's
is
his last name again?
12 teams?
What is
12
his name?
So 4 rounds.
Thrash. Jamari Thrash. I think that's
Yeah,
his name.
Thresh. He did. Well, let me double check that. No, I don't think he got drafted.
So I'm fascinated by this.
Yeah.
So a guy who doesn't get selected, can he get picked up later in the, or is that it? Like,
he can be starting. We start waivers in June, so
And
starting
then-
in June he can be claimed. Yes.
And then do you still have him for his entire career? Or do you
yes.
have to throw him
Anybody
back?
on your roster,
Oh,
you have
okay.
him. There's no throwing back.
Okay.
You keep whoever you want. You know.
That's
Even
interesting.
if
You can't do that.
like you could even if you have you could keep Tom Brady and hope that he keeps hoping if you want. You only have 28 spots and there's no injured list, but you know.
That's too much. I
So.
like a new team. Start from scratch.
I took Wander Franco as a
Right
reserve.
for like
I already
$1.
cut him. I already cut
Oh,
him.
you cut him already.
But just in case.
I took that white running back that the Eagles drafted in the 4th round. I'm like, white running back. What do you think of next?
The Great White Hope, huh? They got
Who was
him,
the second?
Cooper DeJean, Robert Blankenship.
I mean, white running backs are so bad that Peyton Hillis might be the 3rd best white running back since, when the league was 100.
who
Like
was-
the league's
who-
only
who
50%
you got as
racist now.
first?
It was 100% racist back in the day. McCaffrey's the best white running back of the modern era.
Yeah.
Who's two?
And then 2 is John Riggins.
John Riggins. Yeah.
I don't know him.
Redskins?
No, you know who's probably 3, even though he wasn't really a running
Mike
back? It's
Allstott.
Mike Allstott. He was a fullback, but
Yeah.
you know who's up there is Kyle Juszczyk. Speaking of which, this is funny
not
because
a running back.
I was watching the Tom Brady roast, and Jeffrey Ross goes to Julian Edelman. He's like, Julian Edelman, you are the best Jewish football player of all time. And I thought that was a big deal until I realized I'm number 2.
Are we doing that for overtime? Or are we doing the roast?
Yeah, we can talk about the roast in overtime. Yeah, so save that for overtime.
All right, we've sidebarred here, Mike. Go get us back on track.
No, you guys were still. I mean, it was fantasy adjacent.
I think if you're
The only other person you can make a case for,
there's nobody.
maybe Judy, because they
No,
paid. They
no
paid,
chance.
No, they paid him, so he got to be a focal point in the offense.
Top 50 fantasy pick?
No.
He's not a top 100
I mean,
fantasy
again,
pick.
maybe in our draft.
Wait a
maybe in
minute.
Cleveland's
Wait a minute.
draft.
So he's not going to be a focal point in the offense?
No. He's their third option, in my opinion.
All right, dog.
Where does the Joku go?
He'll be like the
70s?
between the 9th and 12th tight end taken.
You think that low?
You think that low?
Yes.
I think he goes around the 70s.
Who you got? Hold on, wait. Sam
Mid-60s to
Laporta,
mid-70s.
Kelsey, Andrews, Hawkinson,
Well, Hawkinson's hurt to start the season, but
Kittle.
that's 5. You got, what's his name? The rookie on Buffalo will go ahead of him.
Dalton Kincaid.
Kincaid, that's 6. The kid on Arizona.
No, I would take Njoku
Tyus.
over him.
That guy had just as good a year as Njoku as a rookie.
Well, I guess now that he
And he plays with Josh Allen.
Now that he don't got no really.
He might be the number one option in their offense.
Never mind. No, it is Kincaid.
The tight end in Arizona, I can't think of his
McBride.
name.
McBride.
He had a great
ESPN
year last year as a second-year
CBS has
player.
Njoku 10th.
That's what I said. He's between 9 and 12 at tight end.
ESPN has him 7th.
You forgot about Evan Ingram
Kyle Pitts.
and Kyle Pitts.
This is ESPN's rankings.
Brock
Yeah, go ahead.
Bowers.
This is for PPR.
Yeah.
Laporta 1,
Yeah.
Kelsey 2, Andrews 3,
Yeah.
McBride 4,
Yeah.
Ingram 5, Kittle 6, Njoku 7, Kincaid 8, Kyle Pitts 9, Jake Ferguson 10, Dallas Goedert 11, TJ Hawkinson 12th with an asterisk saying
Yeah, Hawkinson's hurt,
Hawkinson's
so-
hurt. We don't know how to fairly evaluate this.
Yeah, but who do they have the 2 after him? Kincaid and
Pitts.
yeah. To me, if I'm drafting, I'm taking Kincaid and Pitts over Njoku because they just got more upside. I mean, like Njoku feels like had a great year, but from a fantasy perspective, he didn't have a great
Trey
year.
McBride gonna be a hot commodity because
Well, he had put up huge numbers
it's
last
just
year.
him and Marvin Harrison. That's it.
And Kincaid, I mean, what were Kincaid's numbers last year, Mike?
You know what's
that?
funny is I drafted him on my other league, and
Yeah.
then I ended up cutting.
He got
him.
off to a bad start.
Yeah,
the
'cause-
first month he did nothing.
nothing, and then I took Jake Ferguson, which is not bad.
Yeah.
but
Kincaid finished the season with 73 receptions, 673 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Okay, so
that
those
still ain't great fantasy numbers.
No, but he did it as if you put up those numbers as a tight end for a rookie. Like obviously, it's misleading because Laporta had an all-time season. Usually, rookie tight ends do nothing.
Kyle Pitts did.
Right, and Laporta had an even better year last year than Pitts did. But you put up 600-something yards as a second-year player, as a rookie, and you're playing with one of the best quarterbacks in the league. The theory is your numbers are going to go up.
The fact of the matter is this: they lost Gabe Davis, they lost Stephon Diggs.
Right.
His numbers
Right.
from being a number 4 option, number 3-4 option is now
and
probably
again,
number
remember,
1.
as you know, the first 5-6 weeks of the season, he did nothing.
Yeah.
But he's going to be their guy. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if he had 1,000 yards this year.
Well, he's probably going to be the number 1 of the top
Yeah.
options. So
I can't wait for fantasy football.
Tyler Boyd just signed with the Titans. Official.
Oh, I thought he already did.
No, official as of 1 minute ago.
Well, good for him.
$4.5 million.
How much?
4.5.
Yeah.
O's got a question for you, Bull.
Yeah.
Hey, Bull, I got a question for you for this upcoming league year. Can our league score 2 points per reception for tight ends or something like that too?
I hate that rule. I think it's the worst rule ever.
I don't know if I
it's
like
the
it.
only thing I hate about this dynasty league. I'm still pissed about it. So no, I'm voting against it. I mean, I guess we'll put it up for a vote, Earl. To be fair, I am the commissioner of the league, but to be fair, I'm not a dictator. So
just
I
a
will
dick.
put it up for vote. And if it, what's that, Mike? You said I'm a dictator?
No, he said you're just a dick.
That's good, Mike. You're going to feel guilty tomorrow when you see your birthday present I got you. You're
Thank
going to
you.
feel really bad. Calling me a dick. But I can be
Set
a dick at
yourself up
times.
for it.
I can live with that. Go ahead. You got super chats?
We actually don't have any super chats.
Well, maybe if you weren't
That
taking
was a super
shots at
chat
me
for Mike.
and focused on
If
the
I wasn't
super
such a dick, we'd have a super chat. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
That's right. That's right.
Um,
You threw yourself off with that.
sorry. You say yourself sometimes.
I
it's just-
did. It was a good line. It was funny. I wish I would have heard it the first time.
Real quick, this is unrelated. We're done, or you can end the clip. We're just going to fill 5 minutes here to wrap up. So we have the Miz coming in tomorrow. Jason
Yeah.
and Tyus, you won't be here.
Yeah.
What do you want us to ask the Miz?
Oh boy. Well, you could have given me a little bit of notice on that.
Yeah.
Well, I thought
Well,
they
let
were
me ask you
super
this about The Miz. Here's what I'm confused by.
Is he gonna headline the main event of SummerSlam
Yeah.
since it's in Cleveland? That's what I want to know.
He's not the only Cleveland guy in the WWE, right? They got Johnny Gargano
Who is
and
that?
Logan Paul.
and Logan. Well, oh God,
Wait a minute.
Logan Paul's like a legit WWE star
isn't
now,
he
though.
fighting Tyson, or is that the other one?
That's the other one.
Okay. And then you got Dolph Ziggler, right? Is he still wrestling?
Dolph Ziggler.
I put him on the graphic. I couldn't confirm if he was or was
Okay.
not retired.
He
But here's
was
the
in
thing.
Cleveland the last time Raw came through.
What did Anthony Sack?
Dolph Ziggler was here when Raw came through, so he was still wrestling as of 6 months ago.
Okay. What I'm confused by is when we had The Miz on, he was on with us once,
It's the third show we ever did.
and we were talking about Cleveland, and he was loving Cleveland, but his character in wrestling, he makes fun of Cleveland.
Well, he's a heel at times.
Right. So I didn't realize, I thought when I was a wrestling fan as a kid, those guys were always in character. So there was no, I'm this guy here and I'm that guy there.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's not the case now.
No, that's not the case now.
I didn't realize that. So I'll be curious to see, when we bring up Cleveland sports. And then I was thinking about, do we ask him about, the realness of wrestling? But then he might smack me in the head, and then I could be like John Stockton, who lost his hearing, and it's the whole disaster. But, so I'm probably won't
Is
do
The
that.
Rock still going?
Yeah, he was just at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
came back.
is he still going after that? Because I thought that was just.
I don't know.
You sound like
I
you're
don't-
into it.
My kids are. The
They
boys
love
are.
it, huh?
I actually watched WrestleMania because
loved it as a kid.
I did too. My oldest really, really is into it. We got him
Yeah.
tickets to SummerSlam for his birthday.
Yeah.
And AJ's
Yeah.
kind of into it. So I watched SummerSlam, or I watched WrestleMania because it was
Yeah.
on in our house.
Okay.
So
Everybody said it was great.
It was a 2 days.
Now
to
that
watch
Vince
both
McMahon
nights.
is out.
2 days now. It's like $1,000 for tickets to that thing. It's insane.
Oh, my God. I've heard the tickets are crazy.
It's outrageous.
One more thing real
Or you
quick.
can just
I got a quick
subscribe to
story.
Peacock
Oh, yeah,
and
please.
watch it.
Story.
Let me give you a quick story, guys. So, remember about a year ago, we had my former elementary school teacher, Mr. Brown, on with us?
Of
Ken
course.
Brown.
I remember that.
Great interview.
Don't be a wise guy.
I wasn't. I thought it was a fun. No, I wasn't.
I mean, he's not a professional. You
No,
know.
I thought he was genuinely fun.
No, he did not. Anyway, I forgot to tell you guys this, but when I went to New Jersey 2 weekends ago, we got together.
Okay.
He met my family for the first time, and I met his family for the first time. We went for lunch, and we got together. It was really nice. He was so excited to see me, and it was really nice to see him, and we had a great time. And I was like, I said to his family, "Do you know the story about the wrestling magazine?" And I think I told this on the air when I was in elementary school. I was so into wrestling. My dad used to buy me wrestling magazines, and the substitute teacher, Mrs. Shacatano, took my magazine from me, and she wrote my name on it. And I was very upset that she wrote my name on it. Irrational, but I was in elementary school. So I was so angry that I kind of slapped her hand.
How'd that work out?
Only
for you?
time I ever hit a woman in my life. I slapped Miss Shacatano's hand. And then I panicked, and I ran into the bathroom to hide. Okay? So Mr. Brown, I was close with him, he was also the only male teacher in the school, he was sent in to get me out of the bathroom because I thought I was going to get suspended. I didn't know what was happening.
Paddled back in that day.
Oh,
we got
not
hit.
in Brooklyn.
Oh, we got
You
hit.
grew up in the sticks. I grew up in Brooklyn. They were
Avon
weren't
Lake's the
hitting you.
sticks.
What's that?
Avon Lake is the sticks.
Yeah, that's the sticks. Come on.
We got hit in elementary school. We got paddled.
Tyus, is Avon Lake the sticks?
No comment.
If there's no black people in your town, it's the sticks. Come on.
We
That's
got
it.
like 3,
Yeah, okay.
maybe 4 now.
Yeah. So anyway, I start to tell his family, "Do you remember this story? Do you know this story?" And they were, so Ken Brown. It's still weird for me to call him Ken. He's like, "Yes." They were all like, "Oh yeah, of course we know the story." Blah blah blah. And then he gave me a present, and the present was a wrestling magazine, which my son likes, and now he's been reading it. So it's been a lot of fun.
That's nice.
But it was great seeing him, and it was really cool. He just
So did you end up getting in trouble? Is the question.
I didn't get suspended. My memory is so jacked up from my childhood from
Oh,
the
yeah,
seizures
that's-
I had.
yeah.
I've talked about this before.
Right.
that, like, I don't remember. I don't think I got in that much trouble for whatever reason. I don't know.
So when you smacked her hand, like, what do you mean? Like,
I didn't mean to. It wasn't like I purposely thought, I'm going to smack her hand. I just, like, I was so, like, out of sorts that I was upset. It was crazy. It was ridiculous. And I just I was, like, slamming my hand down, and I hit her hand. It wasn't like I slapped her. I was like, her hand was on the desk, and I went like, damn it, or whatever, and I hit her hand, and I was like, oh, God, and I ran to the bathroom like a lunatic. But anyway, that was it. All right, we'll see you on Overtime on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Victor Caratini, Victor Caratini, Victor Caratini, yeah!
It never gets
Or we could
old.
do the Edwin Encarnacion. Edwin Encarnacion.
I already disrobed.
Are we going to overtime or what, Steve? What's happening here?
Still had 20 seconds.
All right.
Guarantee me.